Chapter 686 Sudden Increase in Strength. Please subscribe. Deep within the cosmic starry skies, whether it be an 11th rank life or an ancient god, or even the ultimate existences, they were all certain it was a 10th rank who had comprehended the rule of time, currently breaking through to tier 11. Because the fissure in the universe that had been torn open, and the chaos void origin that was pouring in, were much lower than the shock of an 11th rank peak reaching its ultimate state. But the Xianxia Supreme Being and the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being knew it was not so. The cause of such a grand disturbance was merely the Galaxy Master breaking through to the 10th rank. From the 9th rank breaking through to the 10th rank. This left both Supreme Beings somewhat bewildered. Even though they had high expectations for Lin Yuan, thinking that the gap torn during the breakthrough would be around 10 million miles, this was already overestimating Lin Yuan, for normally, a 9th rank breakthrough to the 10th rank would tear a gap in the universe of only about 1 million miles. A special 9th rank might manage to tear a 2 to 3 million mile gap, but that was the limit. And the aforementioned gaps torn during a breakthrough were merely internal gaps within the universe, infused with the origin source of the universe. However, comprehending the rule of time and having a complete, independent inner world, the fissure torn in the universe would connect to the external chaos void. The quality of chaos void origin is far higher than that of the universe's origin source, and if the Galaxy Master hadn't developed over 200 million spatial layers, the Xianxia Supreme Being might even think that the gap torn during the breakthrough was less than 1 million miles. The gap torn in the universe over 12 light-years, chaos void origin infusion, such disturbance shouldn't appear when breaking from the 9th rank to the 10th rank, right? Xianxia Supreme Being and the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being looked puzzled. It wasn't that they doubted Lin Yuan, but they found the scene before them somewhat incredible. A temporal life that had comprehended the rule of time, when breaking through to tier 11, could potentially tear a gap in the universe up to 10 light-years. But that would be at the 10th rank, having gone through a 9th rank breakthrough. Even if it were only infused with the universe's origin source, it would still result in a tremendous metamorphosis of their physical soul, spirit, will, and inner world. Additionally, during the 10th rank, various fusion rules were constantly comprehended and absorbed into the inner world, significantly enhancing the inner world's accumulated foundation. And these enhancements could not be made up for by merely developing an extra 1 or 200 million spatial layers. When a 9th rank life develops more spatial layers, it can indeed add some foundation for stepping into the 10th rank, but it's only a bit. The various fusion rules comprehended during the 10th rank, especially the fusion of pillar-level rules, would offer greater assistance to a 10th rank life. The Galaxy Master had only comprehended the rule of time and had not yet discovered even a single pillar-level fusion rule. So how could he withstand the infusion of so much chaos void origin? Xianxia Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly Supreme Being were full of doubts in their hearts, but the commotion of the breakthrough before their eyes was real and genuine, with an endless downpour of chaos void origin. This little guy must have a big secret. Xianxia Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly Supreme Being glanced at each other. It's likely that the strength he's showing now in the Xianhuang secret realm is just for show. Given the amount of chaos void origin that Lin Yuan is bearing now, the Galaxy Master's accumulated foundation at the 9th rank must be incredibly strong. If he had only developed 200 million spatial layers, how could he possibly bear the infusion of so much chaos void origin? Excellent! 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 Xianxia Supreme Being's eyes shone bright. Originally he thought that Lin Yuan comprehending the rule of time at the 9th rank had already been a huge surprise. But there were even greater surprises yet to come. Given the commotion Lin Yuan had caused during his breakthrough, it seemed that upon entering the 10th rank, he would be comparable to those at the peak 10th rank on the grade A list. The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being also smiled. The two Supreme Beings did not blame the Galaxy Master for having concealed anything from them. To grow, it was necessary to hide oneself. Before the beginning of the Starry Sea era, human civilization's long years of lying dormant were also spent desperately hiding itself. Not hide? In its weaker days, human civilization would have been divided up by the different species and Supreme Beings already. As for the great secrets and great opportunities on Lin Yuan, Xianxia Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly Supreme Being didn't care. No matter how great the secret, could it compare to the grand secrets once obtained by human civilization? No matter how great the opportunity, could it compare to the grand opportunities once obtained by human civilization? Deep within the spatial layers, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Above his head, the 12 light-year wide gap connecting to the chaos void rapidly healed. The time for bearing origin source infusion during a breakthrough from 9th rank to 10th rank was fixed at 333 seconds. Hence the more profound the foundation of the breaking 9th rank, the larger the gap would be. Under the same duration, to satisfy different foundations of 9th rank life breaking through to the 10th rank, the only variable is the size of the gap. The larger the gap, the more origin source is infused in 333 seconds. The gap Lin Yuan tore in the universe during his breakthrough reached 12 light-years. Even though the duration remained only 333 seconds, the amount of origin source obtained was immeasurable. At this moment, Lin Yuan felt as if he was stuffed. His true body, both primordial spirit avatars, were all stuffed full. Finally stepped into the 10th rank. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, his spirit invigorated. Even the most ordinary 10th rank, after experiencing the infusion of the universe's origin source, would see their strength increase by 100 or 1,000 times compared to their 9th rank state. And Lin Yuan had experienced an infusion of chaos void origin, naturally attaining a greater increase, his physical soul, spirit will, and inner world, all reaching new heights. The commotion I caused during the breakthrough must not have been small, right? Lin Yuan glanced at the space above, where the gap had completely healed. Chapter 687 Sudden Increase in Strength. Please subscribe. Under 2 normally, a 9th rank existence breaking through to the 10th rank wouldn't cause such a disturbance. It merely attracts the infusion of the cosmic origin source from 1,000,000 miles around. Not to mention those at the 11th rank, even a supreme being would hardly notice. Breaking through from 10th rank to 11th rank? If it still triggers an infusion of the cosmic origin source, the amount of disturbance it causes is still insignificant. Choosing a deserted star domain to break through, one could pass through completely unnoticed. And a 10th rank understanding the rule of time breaking through to 11th rank? Since the beginning of this cosmic era, such occurrences can be counted on one hand. Such 10th rank beings will seek the protection of a supreme being before breaking through. Just like how Xianxia Supreme Being and the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being set up a space-time barrier for Lin Yuan's breakthrough. Human civilization, the insect race, the Jianghu clan, and other peak clans don't wish to see an ultimate being emerge from outside their own races. But the 12th rank life of the Star Alliance does not share this view. The Star Alliance is a force composed within the cosmic starry skies by many special existences to resist the oppression of peak clans. Their supreme beings are very willing to protect powerful beings with no background. As for breaking through from the 11th rank to the ultimate, the resulting disturbance far exceeds what happened when Lin Yuan broke through. But an 11th rank being making the ultimate leap cannot be influenced by external forces. At that time, 11th rank beings will try to fully break free from the constraints of the river of time. If a supreme being were to interfere during this period, it would be tantamount to contending against the entire river of time. Such backlash would even be unbearable for a supreme being. And once the assault on the ultimate begins, there are only 2 outcomes: success, death. Xianxia Supreme Being, Lin Yuan took the initiative to step out from the spatial layers. More than a decade ago, when the Xianxia Supreme Being reached the Milky Way star region, he had informed Lin Yuan, telling him to transform at ease. Before the breakthrough, Lin Yuan was undistracted. But now that he had completely entered the 10th rank, it was natural to meet with the Xianxia Supreme Being. After all, this Supreme Being had guarded the Milky Way star region for nearly 20 years, which counted as placing great importance on Lin Yuan. Whoosh! Lin Yuan took a step forward, and his figure appeared outside the Milky Way star region. At this moment, there were 2 figures standing there quietly. Xianxia Supreme Being, and the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being. Lin Yuan felt a slight shock in his heart. Of the 9 supreme beings in human civilization, even if he hadn't witnessed them all, he was naturally aware of their outer appearances. Tower Master Xianxia, Tower Master Yudi. Lin Yuan bowed slightly. The 9 supreme beings of human civilization each preside over one of the 9 evolution towers and can also be addressed as Tower Masters. The 2 supreme beings, wearing smiles, looked at Lin Yuan and scrutinized him for a moment. Lin Yuan, you really surprised me, Xianxia Supreme Being said with a trace of emotion. The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being beside him nodded slightly too. As a supreme being, free from the river of time at the 12th rank level, what scene had they not seen, what thing had they not experienced? But with this little fellow Lin Yuan, they kept being shocked one after the other. Supreme beings, Lin Yuan hesitated, intending to first reveal account of the spatial layers he opened, lightly disclosing some information. As for the mysterious gourd, Lin Yuan faintly sensed it was of great importance, and no matter the situation, He absolutely could not acknowledge possessing this treasure. No need to explain, Xiaqin Supreme Being waved his hand. It's quite normal for you to have secrets. I have secrets, and so does Yudi. Xiaqin Supreme Being's smile widened as he looked at Lin Yuan. At his level, he simply couldn't be bothered to investigate thoroughly. It was enough that Lin Yuan was a human evolver. Yes. Lin Yuan immediately responded. I'm not sure about your current strength, Xiaqin Supreme Being scrutinized Lin Yuan, pondering for a while before speaking, but you should be comparable to a grade A tier 10, right? The standard for a grade A tier 10 is the comprehension of a new rule after the fusion of two pillar-level fusion rules. Although Lin Yuan had not yet grasped such fusion rules, his foundation was too profound, similar to the notion of one force breaking myriad laws. More or less, Lin Yuan nodded. In fact, Lin Yuan felt that his current strength even exceeded that of an ordinary grade A tier 10. It couldn't be helped, after thoroughly understanding the rule of time, and with his inner world fully independent, followed by the Chaos Void origin infusion, the enhancement Lin Yuan received was far beyond expectations. Very good. A smile emerged on Xiaqin Supreme Being's face. With the magnitude of human civilization, adding another grade A tier 10 being wasn't a big deal. At most, it would affect the local situations on large battlefields, nothing more. However, Lin Yuan's strength, comparable to grade A tier 10, was not the same as a normal grade A tier 10. Whether it was human civilization or other different species, all grade A tier 10 beings had reached the limit of strength and potential. Aside from breaking through to tier 11, there was no space for further improvement. But Lin Yuan? Having just stepped into the 10th rank, he was already comparable to grade A tier 10. What would happen once he mastered various fusion rules, or even the pillar-level fusion rules? If an 11th rank powerhouse didn't intervene, who could be Lin Yuan's opponent? But don't get cocky, Xiaqin Supreme Being's tone shifted slightly, becoming more serious. Our expectation for you is not to remain at the 10th rank or even the 11th rank. It is the ultimate, the 12th rank. Xiaqin Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan, and the smile on the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being's face had also faded. In the cosmic starry sky, what measures the strength and weakness of the Peak Clan's foundations is always the combat power of the Supreme Beings. Without becoming a Supreme Being, one is ultimately just a being within the river of time, bound by the limits of lifespan, fated to grow old and die one day. No matter how unprecedented Lin Yuan's talent and qualifications are, only by entering the realm of the 12th rank level can he maintain eternity. Chapter 688 Surge in Strength. Please subscribe. _3, understood. Lin Yuan nodded. He was equally eager to become the ultimate. To begin with, only by stepping into that level could one truly have self-preservation power. As for now, relying on the power of human civilization was also enough to ensure self-preservation. But between relying on external power and one's own abilities, Lin Yuan preferred the latter. After stepping into the 10th rank, your inner world will establish a connection with the origin source of the universe and will naturally and slowly evolve. So what you need to do now is to enlighten as many fusion rules as possible, and then integrate them into your inner world to enhance its foundation. Xiaqin Supreme Being spoke. Enlighten more fusion rules. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. The more fusion rules a 10th rank strong one enlightens, the stronger their power is assumed to be. In theory, even among grade A tier 10s, there is a clear distinction in strength. A grade A tier 10 who has enlightened one pillar-level fusion rule is clearly weaker than a grade A tier 10 who has enlightened two. Moreover, distinguishing between someone who has created a new rule after fusing 3 pillar rules and another who did so with only 2 is also quite easy. Even involving the rule of time with basic rules in fusion can significantly enhance the methods available to a grade A tier 10. The rule of time, even when merged with an ordinary rule, can produce might far surpassing that of a new rule formed by the fusion of 2 pillar rules. Right. Actually, even at tier 11, it's mainly about fusing more rules. However, an 11th rank life fuses the rule of time with the space rules. If possible, the more pillar rules fused, the greater the benefits. Xiaqin Supreme Being nodded. Chaos rules. Lin Yuan couldn't help asking. You actually know about chaos rules? Xiaqin Supreme Being was astonished. Human civilization couldn't possibly know about chaos rules without that enormous opportunity falling from beyond the universe. I once obtained a little information about chaos rules at a place of opportunity within the Xianhuang secret realm, Lin Yuan said, half-truthfully. The matter of chaos rules, indeed, was something he learned from within the Xianhuang's secret realm. Nevertheless, it wasn't from a place of opportunity, but rather from the spirit of the mysterious realm, the six-armed silhouette, who spoke to him. It came from that Xianhuang emperor, who had vanished for endless ages. The Xianhuang's secret realm was indeed left by an incredibly powerful being, so it's normal that he had some information about the chaos rules. Xiaqin Supreme Being didn't think too much of it. Extrapolating from the present to the past, Xiaqin Supreme Being was aware that Lin Yuan's strength while he was in the Xianhuang secret realm was significantly reserved. Under such circumstances, entering a place of opportunity that defies common sense and obtaining high-level information was nothing strange. An 11th rank life would indeed greatly benefit from enlightening the chaos rules when challenging the ultimate, Xiaqin Supreme Being said with a hint of sentiment, but don't pursue this matter too much. For an 11th rank life to enlighten chaos rules is almost impossible. So that's how it is, Lin Yuan inwardly exclaimed. The disturbance he caused during his breakthrough had already confirmed his innate potential. Even so, Xiaqin Supreme Being still didn't believe Lin Yuan could enlighten the chaos rules, obviously indicating the extreme difficulty of the task. By the way, announcing the advancement to 10th rank can wait a few more years, Xiaqin Supreme Being said. The commotion caused by your breakthrough was immense. Those alien strong ones from the outside world believe that our human civilization has given birth to an 11th rank evolver, who has thoroughly understood the rule of time. So, I plan to go with the flow and first announce that a reclusive evolver of human civilization has comprehended the rule of time, and then has broken through to Tier 11 in the Central Star Domain. Xiaqin Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan. Comprehending the rule of time at 10th rank, although inconceivable, there were precedents after all. The reactions of those alien strong ones wouldn't be too severe. But comprehending the rule of time at 9th rank? And causing such a big disturbance during the breakthrough? Those alien strong ones would probably become restive, seeking all means to target Lin Yuan. While the human supreme beings would pay more attention to Lin Yuan and not let those alien strong ones succeed, it was still better to avoid such incidents if possible. Can it really be concealed? Lin Yuan was quite curious. If I hadn't witnessed it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed that a breakthrough from 9th to 10th rank could cause such a grand disturbance. Xiaqin Supreme Being glanced at Lin Yuan. The look the feather butterfly Supreme Being beside him cast towards Lin Yuan also flashed with astonishment. Compared to the illusion that human civilization is about to present to other species, the true truth is even more unbelievable, isn't it? All right. Now that you've stepped into 10th rank, I should be going back. Familiarize yourself well with the power after 10th rank, Xiaqin Supreme Being said, then vanished from view. Even a normal breakthrough from 9th to 10th rank would lead to an infusion from the universe's origin source. Everything about oneself would be significantly improved, so the most important thing for a newcomer to 10th rank is to adapt to the surge in power. Lin Yuan's induction was beyond 100 times that of the origin source of the universe from the chaos void origin, and the amount was unfathomable. The magnitude of his strength's increase was also well beyond what is normal for a 9th to 10th rank ascension by tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of times. Feather Butterfly Supreme Being glanced at Lin Yuan one last time before she, too, disappeared without a trace. Upon seeing this, Lin Yuan turned and returned to the Milky Way main star. Because the Supreme Beings intervened to isolate space-time, none of the evolvers in the Milky Way star region noticed, not even the 8th layer administrators on the galactic star knew, that their Star Lord had become a 10th rank evolver. Whoosh! Inside the Star Lord's great hole, Lin Yuan's figure appeared. He then sat down cross-legged. Having broken through to 10th rank, Lin Yuan went to see Xiaqin Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly Supreme Being immediately, not even having the chance to carefully compare his own changes in strength. Now was a good time to slowly feel them out. Chapter 689 Chikuan Starlord. 9th rank. This is 9th rank. Please subscribe. My physical body and soul have both skyrocketed by 1,000-fold. Lin Yuan was carefully savoring the sense of control brought about by his powerful physical form and soul. At this moment, he was like a colossal celestial body. If he released his suppression, all matter within several light-years would turn to dust and then orbit around him. With my current state, even if I only used the strength of my physical body, a single punch would be enough to shatter layers upon layers of space. Lin Yuan thought quietly to himself. The 1,000-fold amplification of Lin Yuan's physical body and soul wasn't based on an ordinary 9th stage peak. It was based on a terrifying physical body that had been strengthened by the mysterious gourd, with a fundamental increase of over 20 times. Moreover, the world force derived from his vast inner world was constantly nurturing Lin Yuan's physical body and soul at every moment. Add to that, the martial Tao cultivation system was inherently skilled at tempering the physical body. That is to say, even before breaking through to the 10th rank, Lin Yuan's physical strength was already hundreds to thousands of times that of a peer at the same 9th rank. No wonder, I've only heard of 8th layer invincibles surviving against 9th rank powerhouses, but never of a 9th rank managing to survive against a 10th rank. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The increase was far too great. Even if other 10th rank powerhouses only sustained infusion from the universe's origin source, they were far superior to any life on the 9th rank. Even special 9th rank beings had no power to fight back in front of a powerhouse who had just entered the 10th rank. The higher you go, the wider the gap between realms becomes. It's like this from the 9th to the 10th rank, from the 10th to the 11th rank, and so is the gap between the 11th rank and the ultimate existences. Lin Yuan thought silently. Especially from the 11th rank to the ultimate, it was a chasm of whether or not one had broken free from the shackles of the river of time. Despite there being extremely powerful and ancient 11th rank lives in the cosmic starry skies, which possess the confidence that makes ultimate beings hesitant to take action against them, such as the mother of the tree realm. However, this hesitation doesn't mean that these ancient and powerful 11th rank lives can withstand the methods of ultimate beings, but rather they can obliterate themselves before an ultimate being comes close to completely destroying them, leaving the ultimate existences to return empty-handed. Inner world. Lin Yuan dispatched a thread of his consciousness to descend into his inner world as an incarnation. After sustaining the infinite chaos void origin, Lin Yuan's inner world showed no drastic changes in terms of size at first glance. But within the world itself, a significant transformation had occurred in all aspects. To put it simply, it was much like the difference between the central divine continent and the spirit realm. Space became more stable, and the rules more balanced. A strike of the same might created gulches spanning thousands of miles in the inner world at the 9th rank, but in the present inner world, perhaps it could only split a boulder? I can feel that, after receiving the Chaos Void Origins infusion, my inner world has made a connection with the Chaos Void, thereby improving moment by moment. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even without Lin Yuan taking any action, the layers of spatial realms within his inner world were being slowly developed. Lin Yuan's inner world was entirely independent and could slowly absorb the power of the Chaos Void. Other 10th rank evolvers were a bit inferior, able to absorb only the power of the main universe, but probably not much different from Lin Yuan's current state. The spatial layers were unfolding slowly of their own accord, it was just much slower in terms of speed. This is also why 10th rank powerhouses didn't care about how many spatial layers their inner worlds had. Because at the 10th rank level, the inner worlds would actively synchronize with the main universe, Chaos Void, which would autonomously develop spatial layers. Certain ancient 10th rank lives had an inner world with spatial layer counts that could reach hundreds of millions or even billions of layers. In such cases, some 9th rank powerhouses intentionally developed more spatial layers to receive more of the universe's origin infusion. A normal 9th rank powerhouse transcending to the 10th rank would tear open a gap millions of miles wide for the universe's origin infusion. Whereas special 9th ranks that had developed tens of millions of spatial layers would tear a 2 to 3 million mile gap upon ascending to the 10th rank. Given that the time spent in breakthrough remained at 333 seconds, the difference in the amount of main universe origin infusion received by the two was like night and day. This is the greatest benefit of developing more spatial layers at the 9th rank. Lin Yuan had developed more than 23 billion layers in his spatial realms. The direct size of his inner world also exceeded 200 million miles. Combining various factors, the gap torn in the universe reached 12 light-years. The resulting infusion of Chaos Void origin was immeasurable, allowing Lin Yuan's strength to increase far beyond expectations. My current true combat power is roughly equivalent to 3 to 5 Black Star Lords. Lin Yuan gauged his own strength and made an objective assessment. The Black Star Lord was a veteran grade A tier 10, having understood 2 pillar-level fusion rules. Although Lin Yuan had yet to comprehend one such pillar-level rule, the power he wielded was too formidable. If the Black Star Lord indeed faced Lin Yuan, the outcome would be the Black Star Lord's full-force attack wouldn't break through Lin Yuan's defense. And a casual strike from Lin Yuan, if it even grazed or brushed against him, would leave the Black Star Lord spitting blood from serious injuries. Elemental body. Lin Yuan thought of this physical body divine ability from the world of gods. The combat among 10th rank powerhouses mainly depended on the strength of their fusion rules. And fusion rules are also rules, simply a perfect counter for the elemental body. After getting somewhat accustomed to the changes in himself, Lin Yuan moved his thoughts, and his two primordial spirits appeared in front of him. During the period of Chaos Void Origin Infusion, the two primordial spirits also benefited and gained strength almost as much as the main body. You go to the large alien battlefield. Lin Yuan looked towards the Taiyang Divine Spirit. Having stepped into the 10th rank, Lin Yuan naturally planned to visit the large alien battlefield. Putting other things aside, at the very least, the speed of accumulating world-breaking origin force there would be much faster than at medium-sized otherworldly battlefields. After breaking through to the 10th rank, the last bit of threat from the large alien battlefields to Lin Yuan gradually disappeared. As long as the supreme beings of different species didn't take action against him, he had nothing to fear. Time slipped away. In the blink of an eye, 5 years had passed. Under the operation of the ultimate beings like Xiaqian's supreme being and others, the news of Lin Yuan's breakthrough to the 10th rank finally began to go public. Actually, if it were not made public soon, the outside world would also speculate whether the Galactic Star-Lord had stepped into the 10th rank. With the strength Lin Yuan showed in the Xianhuang's secret realm, breaking through to the 10th rank should not be difficult for him. 10th rank. Did Lin Yuan really step into the 10th rank? 200 years. A 10th rank evolver in less than 200 years. Our Kanglin star has actually given birth to an existence like Lin Yuan. After years of development, Kanglin's star was already not much inferior to the main stars of some star systems, but still celebrated wildly upon learning that Lin Yuan had become a 10th rank evolver. Many young citizens of Kanglin's star had no idea what it meant to be a 10th rank evolver, but the fact that their own planet had produced such a great person was exhilarating to them. In the virtual world, Lin Yuan was chatting leisurely with the Black Star Lord, the lustrous Star Master, and several other grade A tier 10 beings. Galactic Star Lord, when you broke through to the 10th rank and experienced the infusion of the origin source of the universe, how did it feel? The Black Star Lord couldn't help but ask. This was also the biggest difference from the previous breakthroughs. 10th rank evolvers had already set one foot at the peak beneath the supreme beings. They could receive the gifts of the origin from the main universe. This was an unprecedented great opportunity, and even for the most amazing evolvers, they would experience it at most 2 or 3 times in their lifetime. Not bad, Lin Yuan said with a smile. Although it had been 5 years since he had entered the 10th rank, the sensation of the Chaos Void Origin infusion still made Lin Yuan quite addicted. The feeling that everything about oneself was crazily improving under the origin infusion was highly addictive. Ha 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 ha. A smile appeared on the Black Star Lord's face. The lustrous Star Master beside him also wore a smile. If the Galactic Star Lord, who had not yet entered the 10th rank, was something they only valued for his potential, now the Galactic Star Lord had broken through to the 10th rank and stood at the same height as them. With the talent and aptitude of the Galactic Star Lord, reaching grade A was only a matter of time. The major powers in the outside world estimated that in at most a few thousand years, human civilization would have another grade A tier 10 being. What the Black Star Lord and the lustrous Star Master didn't know was that Lin Yuan's current strength had already surpassed tier 10 grade A, and in a few thousand years, Lin Yuan would probably have already stepped into tier 11. In the Ziyun star domain, the great peak master of the Red Kuan lineage sat in the Grand Hall, with numerous pieces of information flickering across the light screen in front of him, mostly about the Galactic Star Lord stepping into the 10th rank. Little junior brother has become 10th rank, the great peak master touched his nose and shook his head. I remember back then, I stepped into the 8th rank just before my junior brother did. Now, I'm still struggling in the early 8th rank, and my junior brother has already reached the 10th rank? The great senior brother felt a suffocating sensation. The little guy who needed his protection to even break through to the 6th rank had now grown to become a pillar of human civilization that would continue to grow into the future? Thank goodness I got along well with my junior brother back then. A smile spread across the great senior brother's face. After stepping into the 8th rank, he was in charge of a star domain, and the surrounding Star Lords were all trying to befriend him, banking on the face of the Galactic Star Lord, of course. In the Wanyang star domain, Wanyang Holy Sun looked at the message in front of him. His mentality had completely changed. 13 Peak Master has become 10th rank. Wanyang Holy Sun rubbed his forehead. The 13 Peak Master whom he once regarded as his goal had now grown to be a giant that even his own teacher had to look up to. No, that's not right. Wanyang Star-Lord was but an invincible 8th rank, facing a 10th rank evolver. He couldn't look up to him even if he wanted to. But, no matter how monstrous 13 Peak Master is, what can he do about it? Didn't he lose to me once in the arena match? Wanyang Holy Sun thought cheerfully. Just this incident alone would give him, Wanyang Holy Sun, bragging rights for the second half of his life, and even the Wanyang Starlord could only watch enviously. Time flew by. Another 2 years passed in a blink. Chikuan Star Domain. Chikuan Main Star. A majestic spatial fluctuation began to permeate, and a gigantic starry sky wanderer Kuan slowly wandered among the various spatial layers outside the main star. The next moment, this starry sky wanderer Kuan rapidly shrank, transforming into an old man wearing a red robe. 9th rank, this is the 9th rank. The Chikuan Star Lord cried tears of joy, overwhelmed with excitement, silently feeling the power from the many spatial layers. After more than 100 years of seclusion, he finally took that step and entered the 9th rank. 30,000 years, and I, Chikuan, have also stepped into the 9th rank. The Chikuan Star Lord wept, and with the starry sky wanderer Kun's affinity with space, he had just stepped into the 9th rank and had already opened nearly 1,000 spatial layers. Now, in front of my disciple, I can finally hold my head up. The Chikuan Star Lord restrained his aura. After Lin Yuan entered the 9th rank, his teacher had remained at the 8th rank. This had put a lot of pressure on the Chikuan Star Lord. Although human civilization was no stranger to disciples surpassing their masters, the Chikuan Star Lord also cared about his dignity. Now that the Chikuan Star Lord had stepped into the 9th rank, he felt a bit more confident. Thinking this, the Chikuan Star Lord began to connect to the virtual world, intending to announce his successful breakthrough and to catch up on what had happened in human civilization during his 100 years of seclusion. However, he felt somewhat bewildered upon getting updated. Not understanding was one thing, but understanding left the Chikuan Star Lord somewhat astonished. Chapter 690 The Cycle of Life and Death goes on. Please subscribe. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The commotion caused by the Chikuan Star Lord's successful breakthrough immediately caught the attention of many powerful beings on the main star. All the Peak Masters sensed it at once and hurried towards the location of the Chikuan Star Lord. There are 13 Peak Masters in the lineage of Red Kuen, with the Great Peak Master and 13 Peak Masters stationed in other star domains. Only 11 Peak Masters remain on the main star. At this moment, with the powerful aura of the Chikuan Star Lord spreading, 10 Peak Masters were quickly approaching. Teacher, have you made a breakthrough? Congratulations on advancing to the 9th rank, teacher. The Peak Masters, upon seeing the Chikuan Star Lord standing with hands behind his back and eyes closed, offered their congratulations one after another. As disciples of the Chikuan Star Lord, the more powerful their teacher became, the more benefits they naturally reaped. In human civilization, the bond between master and disciple is even closer than that of kin, for becoming master and disciple means their life levels won't differ too much. They can endure the long years side by side. But kin? How many of them are still alive? Those who are kin to 10th rank evolvers, 11th rank evolvers. Even the kin of supreme beings have mostly died, and while supreme beings can swim against the current, resurrecting past beings. However, if they died due to the end of their natural lifespan, even if they were resurrected by force, they would die once again when their time was up. To achieve eternity, one must become a 12th rank life, stepping out of the river of time. You have arrived. The Chikuan Star Lord glanced at the numerous Peak Masters and nodded slightly. At this moment, his heart was in turmoil, having just connected his consciousness to the virtual world and received countless pieces of information from the past 100 years. The most dazzling was naturally the Galaxy Master. Within the Xianhuang secret realm, he unleashed a massacre, with his power alone, forcing the 9th rank powerhouses of several opposing peak clans of human civilization to willingly die within the secret realm. Years later, he stepped into the 10th rank, and stood near the pinnacle just below the supreme beings. My disciple. The Chikuan Star Lord fell silent. Initially, he had merely suggested that Lin Yuan explore the opened Xianhuang secret realm, to see if he could figure out any connection between the Xianhuang evolutionary path and the secret realm itself. He had never anticipated Lin Yuan would cause such a stir. Back when the Chikuan Star Lord entered the Xianhuang secret realm, he was extremely cautious, for an 8th layer invincible being belonged to the lower levels of the secret realm. But how domineering was Lin Yuan's performance in the Xianhuang secret realm? Those aloof special 9th ranks had to scurry away like rats, dying if they were too slow to escape. As for Lin Yuan stepping into the 10th rank, the Chikuan Star Lord, despite his complex feelings, secretly felt a sense of relief. When Lin Yuan had ascended to the 9th rank, the Qikuan Star Lord was an invincible 8th ranker, hoping to impact the 9th rank level, to become an evolver on the same level as his junior disciple. This was also why the Qikuan Star Lord had been in seclusion for over 100 years. If not for Lin Yuan's provocation, perhaps the Qikuan Star Lord would have taken a few thousand years to brew. When naturally reaching the peak, he would then consider advancing to the 9th rank. After all, he had a long lifespan left. As a starry sky wanderer Kuan with peak lineage, the Qikuan Star Lord's lifespan was much longer than evolvers on the same level. But now, Lin Yuan had entered the 10th rank. The Qikuan Star Lord actually felt a sense of relief because reaching the 10th rank level was not something he could achieve by merely entering seclusion. Even though the starry sky wanderer Kun's cultivation at the 9th rank brought great benefits, opening up numerous spatial layers, for one favored by the origin source of space, it was considerably easier. But to completely traverse the 9th rank, to open up millions of spatial layers? Without 100,000 years, one need not even think about it. That was if everything went smoothly. If it didn't, falling into several bottlenecks could greatly delay the timing. The Qikuan Star Lord's thoughts were tumultuous, and for a moment, he even felt sentimental. As long as the gap wasn't significant, there was the thought of overtaking. But when the gap became a vast chasm, the Qikuan Star Lord completely lost such thoughts. "Teacher, our junior brother, he has stepped into the 10th rank," the 10-peak master immediately said, eager to share the good news with the Qikuan Star Lord. "I know," replied the Qikuan Star Lord, giving the 10-peak master a glance. "In the future, you all should learn more from 13. At these words, the 10-peak masters looked at each other in dismay. Learn from the junior brother? What could they learn from the junior brother? Deep in the cosmic starry sky, within a certain secret realm, the Tuoba ancient god was sitting cross-legged, his terrifying aura affecting the surrounding space and time. "The galaxy master, that little fellow, has entered the 10th rank?" Tuoba ancient god had just finished a brief period of seclusion and received this news from human civilization. Tuoba. A powerful consciousness descended, coalescing into a huge phantom figure. It was the Xizhong ancient god. "You should have returned the galaxy master's friend back then, and look at how things turned out now. Not only did you not gain any advantage, but you've also offended the galaxy master," Xizhong ancient god said, shaking his head slightly. "So what if he's offended?" Tuoba ancient god didn't care. Considering the talent and aptitude shown by the galaxy master, it was only natural for him to advance to the 10th rank. Tuoba ancient god was not worried about this matter at all. Even if the galaxy master ascended to tier 11 in the future, what of it? As an ancient god like him, already standing at the zenith of tier 11, unless the galaxy master became a supreme being, he couldn't bother him in the slightest. But a supreme being, was it so easy to become one? You may not care about the galaxy master, but what about that human evolver who has comprehended the rule of time at the 11th rank? Do you also disregard him? That human evolver has a great chance of becoming a supreme being, and once that happens, the emergence of the 10th supreme being from human civilization will have a profound impact on the situation of all major forces in the universe, Xizhong ancient god continued. Chapter 691 The Endless Cycle of Life and Death. Subscribe please. Under 2. This way, can you still not care? The Xizhong ancient god spoke. Years ago, the phenomenon that triggered the chaos void origin infusion was revealed by the supreme beings of the different species, and even the ancient gods learned that it originated from human civilization. Afterwards, human civilization also made public that a seclusive 10th rank evolver had broken through to the 11th rank. It matched the conjectures of the supreme beings from the different species. A 10th rank understanding the rule of time. Tuoba ancient god fell into silence. The galaxy master could be indifferent. After all, even a transcendent talent has little direct help in impacting the ultimate. But a 10th rank understanding the rule of time? This indeed provides no small benefit to the ultimate, allowing one to endure the chaos void origin infusion another time more than a normal 11th rank peak powerhouse. The inner world would gain great benefits. In the future, the ultimate leap towards transforming into an inner universe would also be much easier. It doesn't affect me either, Tuoba ancient god gave Xizhong ancient god a glance. Even if human civilization has one more supreme being, it's just a shift in the dynamic among the major peak powers. At worst it'll join the insect race. The emergence of another supreme being in human civilization only enhances the foundation and strength of human civilization, far from being brazen. You plan to attack the ultimate within 10 million years, and during that time, joining the insect race really has no impact at all? Xizhong Ancient God said with a smile. Tuoba Ancient God did not reply. At this moment, he also faintly regretted. How could he have anticipated that the Galaxy Master would be so unthreatened? And human civilization's foundation is too terrifying. How long has it been since it birthed 9 supreme beings, and now there is hope for the birth of a 10th? Had he known this, decisively handing over that friend of the Milky Way main star would indeed have been the best choice. At least not to offend the Milky Way main star to death, nor to offend human civilization to death. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan opened his eyes. Teacher has stepped into the 9th rank? Lin Yuan received the news, a smile emerging on his face. Although stepping into the 9th rank is trivial for the current Lin Yuan, for Chicoan Starlord, it was a many years' wish. Go congratulate teacher. Lin Yuan connected his consciousness to the virtual world. Personal space. Lin Yuan and Chicoan Star-Lord sat facing each other. Congratulations, teacher, on stepping into the 9th rank. Lin Yuan said with a smile. Are you making fun of me? Chicoan Star-Lord rolled his eyes. He hadn't even mentioned Lin Yuan breaking through to the 10th rank yet. In comparison to the birth of a 10th rank evolver, what is a break from the 8th to the 9th rank? Afterwards, the master and disciple chatted casually for a while. Chicoan Starlord could feel that, even though his disciple had completely surpassed him, he did not display any airs of a 10th rank evolver. He was still like the junior disciple from years past. This warmed Chicoan Starlord's heart a bit. By the way, between the Xianxia evolutionary path and the Xianxia secret realm, Chicoan Starlord tentatively asked. He was quite curious about the relationship between the two. This exploration of the Xianxia secret realm did not reveal any connection with the Xianxia evolutionary path. Lin Yuan did not tell the whole truth. Primarily because the Xianxia secret realm was too important. Perhaps when Lin Yuan becomes a supreme being without fear of anything, he might disclose this matter. But for now, it's better to keep it under wraps. There's no connection at all? Chicoan Starlord felt somewhat disappointed. Right. What could an evolutionary path that even I could obtain count for against the Xianxia secret realm? Chicoan Starlord quickly figured it out. Obtaining the Xianxia evolutionary path was not very difficult for him. If the Xianxia evolutionary path really had a key connection with the Xianxia secret realm, how could it possibly have surfaced through him, a mere 8th rank powerhouse? What Chicoan Starlord did not know was that the spirit of the Xianxia secret realm, in order to better disseminate the Xianxia evolutionary path to the outside world, almost gave away the evolutionary path. However, most powerhouses, upon obtaining this evolutionary path, try repeatedly and find it absolutely unfeasible to cultivate, and so gradually give up and no longer pay attention. Occasionally life forms that meet the requirements of the Xianxia evolutionary path appear, and they too often perish midway, failing to reach the prerequisites necessary to call upon the Xianxia secret realm. Teacher, about the Xianxia evolutionary path, I intend to make it public, and find a few evolvers within my human civilization who can cultivate this evolutionary path. Lin Yuan pondered for a while, then spoke. This was also what he had promised to the spirit of the Xianxia secret realm. As for other evolvers cultivating the Xianxia evolutionary path, would it shake Lin Yuan's control over the Xianxia secret realm? That possibility no longer existed, as in today's scenario, Lin Yuan had refined the core of the secret realm, becoming the undisputed master of the Xianxia secret realm. Even if someone cultivated the Xianxia evolutionary path to the 10th, 11th rank, it would not affect the Xianxia secret realm in the slightest. No problem. Chicoan Star-Lord nodded. Thank you, teacher, Lin Yuan immediately said. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan successfully uploaded the first tier chapter to the 7th rank chapter of the Xianxia evolutionary path. As for the 8th layer part, 9th rank chapter, 10th rank chapter, 11th stage volume, and even the 12th stage chapter? If one can't even get through the initial first tier chapter to the 7th rank chapter, there's naturally no need to cultivate the later stages. The 3 goddesses don't think highly of the Xianxia evolutionary path. Lin Yuan received the evaluation from the goddess of wisdom on the Xianxia evolutionary path. The most important criterion for evaluating evolutionary paths in human civilization is their level of adoption. That is, the number of people who can cultivate this evolutionary path. Even if it's a supreme evolution path, If the threshold is extremely high, resulting in no one being able to enter, then its value won't be very high either. The Xianxia secret realm might not be such that no one can enter, but cultivating this evolutionary path is not an easy matter. Battlefield A098. Chapter 692 The Unending Cycle of Life and Death. Please subscribe. _3 Battlefield starting with a signify large alien battlefields. Human civilization has established as many as 2 million battlefields of different races, the vast majority of which are small-sized otherworldly battlefields. There are 860,000 medium-sized otherworldly battlefields. As for large alien battlefields, to date, there are only 135. Each large alien battlefield is a meat grinder between peak clans, where the strongest beings of the cosmic starry skies converge the most. The gaze of supreme beings is always watching closely. Battlefield A098 is located near the central region. Lin Yuan's Taiyang divine spirit is flying cautiously. Whether it is a small-sized otherworldly battlefield, a medium-sized otherworldly battlefield, or a large alien battlefield, space is extremely unstable, and transposition errors would be greatly magnified. Such errors might be harmless in the cosmic starry skies, but on a battlefield? If one carelessly transposed into the enemy's lair, wouldn't that be seeking death? Therefore, under normal circumstances, no strong being dares to use transposition in the battlefields. Lin Yuan is no exception. Even though with the 9 steps of spacetime, Lin Yuan could minimize the errors to the lowest. But the consumption from using this secret technique is too great, and the movement it generates is also significant. It would create ripple after ripple in space. After all, this secret technique is meant to be a life-saving method when there are no other choices. When one is already in such a desperate situation, who still cares about the magnitude of the disturbance? This large alien battlefield is really too vast. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. It had taken him just over half a year to travel from the Milky Way star region to this battlefield. In the years after that, he had been slowly flying on the battlefield, heading towards the eternal spatial rift. According to Lin Yuan's understanding of Battlefield A098, this large alien battlefield has a diameter of over 500 light-years, and even in the vastness of the cosmic void, it is considered a colossal entity. It is said that the 135 large battlefields established by human civilization were all crafted by the hands of supreme beings. They are the work of ultimate existences themselves, capable of enduring the battles between 11th rank lives. However, even just after entering the battlefield, I can already smell the scent of world-breaking origin force. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. In the past, in both small-sized and medium-sized otherworldly battlefields, he could only accelerate the accumulation of world-breaking origin force when he was near the eternal spatial rifts. But in a large alien battlefield, even at the edges, Lin Yuan could sense that the rate of accumulating world-breaking origin force had increased. Even if it was just a slight increase, it was nevertheless an increase. Compared to the small-sized and medium-sized otherworldly battlefields, this was a qualitative change. I wonder, once I truly approach that eternal spatial rift, to what extent will the rate of accumulating world-breaking origin force increase? Lin Yuan was somewhat expectant in his heart. Xianxia secret realm. Lin Yuan Taiyin primordial spirit stood suspended in the air. Since breaking through to the 10th rank, Lin Yuan occasionally entered the Xianxia secret realm to acquaint himself with the power that surged after his breakthrough. The Xianxia secret realm could even block the prying eyes of supreme beings, allowing Lin Yuan to display his power unbridledly here, with no need for any reservations. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying energy fluctuations nearly swept across 1/10 of the secret realm. Compared to a normal 10th rank, Lin Yuan's strength foundation was unfathomably stronger. After passing through the chaos void with a gap of more than 12 light-years and receiving an origin source infusion for 333 seconds, Lin Yuan underwent a complete metamorphosis from the inside out. Compared to when he was at the 9th rank, Lin Yuan had become far too powerful. It was as if he had transformed from an ant into a divine dragon. Whirling. The many layers of space were torn apart. The power Lin Yuan unleashed with mere gestures was enough to obliterate 10th rank grade C and grade B beings. Only a 10th rank grade A who had comprehended the pillar-level fusion rules could endure in the aftermath of Lin Yuan's unrestrained power. But that was just enduring, like a small boat floating on a vast ocean, vulnerable to sinking at any moment. Master, your strength now has already surpassed the pinnacle of the 10th rank without the aid of any rule's power. The six-armed silhouette of the spirit of the Xianhuang's secret realm appeared in the distance, looking at Lin Yuan in the center of the vast power, utterly shocked. The main method of cultivation for a 10th rank life is to constantly fuse various rules. And fusing rules is also the most important means of attack for a 10th rank life. But now, without utilizing any rules, Lin Yuan's burst of power had surpassed the 10th rank category, which was simply unthinkable. Merely surpassing the pinnacle of the 10th rank? Lin Yuan reigned in his aura, somewhat disappointed. Compared to his initial step into the 10th rank, Lin Yuan's strength had increased greatly. He thought he might barely reach the threshold of the 11th rank. Master? The six-armed silhouette fell silent. The 10th and the 11th rank belong to completely different realms. It's not about surpassing the pinnacle of the 10th rank to reach the 11th. If the pinnacle of the 10th rank is 100, then the 11th rank is 1,000 or even 10,000. Surpassing the pinnacle of the 10th rank, reaching 110 or 120, is still a long way from the 11th rank. During the glorious times of the profound yellow lineage, there indeed were some abnormal 10th rank lives who, with the aid of secret technique weapons, momentarily stood against 11th rank life. But Lin Yuan now wanted to reach the threshold of the 11th rank with his own pure power alone. This left the six-armed silhouette at a loss for words. If merely with one's pure strength one can rival the 11th rank, is that still a 10th rank life? After numerous attempts in the Xianhuang's secret realm, Lin Yuan had a rough idea of his current strength. He was basically invincible among the 10th rank, with ordinary grade A tier 10 beings unable to last long against him. If Lin Yuan disregarded everything, paying a huge price, he could perhaps briefly elevate his strength to the threshold of the 11th rank. For instance, by using the divine skill enhancement. Enhancing everything like his physical soul, spirit will, inner world, by 10 times could lead to an estimated 100-fold or 1,000-fold increase in strength, certainly breaking into the 11th rank realm. Fusion rules. After examining for a while, Lin Yuan continued his cultivation and started to comprehend the Tao. The rules of life, the rules of death. Lin Yuan raised both hands. His left hand was filled with warm vitality, while his right hand emanated a cold aura of death. Life and death, the cycle never ends? In Lin Yuan's mind, numerous inspirations emerged, and the forces of life and death between his hands slowly began to merge. Chapter 693 Revisiting the Dark Planet. Please subscribe. Breaking through the 10th rank, for Lin Yuan, besides the most direct aspect of a dramatic increase in strength, there was another benefit, that being the perception of rules became much easier. The heights at which the 9th rank and the 10th rank stood were different, and the scenery they observed naturally differed as well. Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding was the same, when at the 9th rank, perceiving the fusion of pillar-level rules felt obscure and difficult to comprehend. But at the 10th rank? It couldn't be said to be easy, but it likewise couldn't be described as obscure. Having stepped into the 10th rank for several years, Lin Yuan first gained a deep perception of the fusion between the life rule and the death rule, these two kinds of pillar-level rules. At this moment, all of the perceptions transformed into inspiration, propelling Lin Yuan to make that final step. You possess against heaven's understanding perceiving the life rule and the death rule, beginning the fusion of rules. You possess against heaven's understanding perceiving the life rule and the death rule, beginning the fusion of rules. You possess against heaven's understanding perceiving the life rule and the death rule, successfully completing the fusion smoothly. Boom! A rumble exploded in Lin Yuan's mind, as the life rule and the death rule completely fused, forming a completely new rule power. This type of rule power encompassed both life and death, causing the two to continually reincarnate, as if there was no end at all. I've finally comprehended a pillar-level fusion rule. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Normally speaking, a 10th rank evolver who comprehends a pillar-level fusion rule, which is at least the new rule formed after the fusion of two pillar-level rules, would then be able to rank among the grade A of the 10th rank. However, this step for 10th rank evolvers took a very, very long time. It's just that Lin Yuan. Firstly, Lin Yuan's foundation was too robust, having thoroughly perceived all the major pillar-level rules even before stepping into the 10th rank. Secondly, Lin Yuan possessed an against heaven's understanding. Other 10th rank evolvers, when they first enter this level, haven't even fully comprehended a few pillar-level rules, let alone developed a pillar-level fusion rule. The two weren't even on the same level. Fusing the life rule and the death rule, the fusion rule I've comprehended should be the life and death samsara rule? Lin Yuan thought to himself. The life and death samsara rule, among many pillar-level rules, is a very powerful fusion rule, encompassing the two pillar rules of life and death, which are completely extreme and opposite rules. The difficulty of fusing the life rule with the death rule exceeds the fusion of other pillar-level rules. But once successful, the might of the formed life and death samsara rule is extraordinarily formidable. With my current strength, under normal circumstances, should I be able to reach the threshold of 11th rank now? Lin Yuan thought to himself. For a regular 10th rank powerhouse, comprehending one kind of pillar-level fusion rule completely transforms their own strength. Different types of pillar-level fusion rules exist, with various focal points, but no matter which kind of pillar-level fusion rule, all can enable a 10th rank powerhouse to jump straight into the grade A threat list. So, after Lin Yuan comprehended the life and death samsara rule, his own strength likewise welcomed a significant increase. To put it simply, if the pillar-level fusion rule is compared to a sharp blade, in the hands of ordinary people, it can cause tremendous lethality, and in the hands of evolvers, the lethality will be even stronger and higher. The same degree of life and death samsara rule, when initiated by Lin Yuan compared to when initiated by a normal 10th rank grade A powerhouse, the power unleashed is naturally worlds apart. Let's try again. A thought flickered through Lin Yuan's mind. The Tai-Yin primordial spirit immediately descended upon the Xianxia secret realm. After becoming the master of the Xianxia secret realm and with the Xianxia seal, Lin Yuan could enter the Xianxia secret realm from any location in the universe. As for getting out, apart from those fixed 333 secret realm exits, one can also establish a guiding mark between themselves and the Xianxia secret realm, serving as a connection and pull. Lin Yuan had already established that long ago, using his true body as the guiding mark for when he exits. Previously, when the Xianxia secret realm was closed, he exited along with the other 9th rank evolvers to create a scenario that he too left the Xianxia secret realm. Xianxia secret realm. The Lin Yuan Tai-Yin primordial spirit descended once again. Master. The six-armed silhouette appeared, looking at Lin Yuan with a slight hint of confusion, and asked. I want to test my strength again, Lin Yuan said directly. Okay, the six-armed silhouette nodded. Although unclear why Lin Yuan wanted to repeat the process, the six-armed silhouette would only follow the commands of its master. What is this secret realm's limit of endurance? Lin Yuan asked before acting. Limit of endurance? The six-armed silhouette pondered for a moment. Attacks below the ultimate shouldn't be a problem. The reason why the Xianxia secret realm could evade the lockdown of a supreme being was because of the technique of blending into the gaps within the countless spatial layers of the main universe. As for the Xianxia secret realm itself, it had no ability to block supreme beings. However, while it couldn't stop a supreme being, the secret realm was more than sufficient to withstand attacks from 11th rank life forms. Then that's good. Lin Yuan nodded. I have just understood a type of fusion rule and want to try it out. You help me see if the power has reached the threshold of 11th rank. Lin Yuan finished speaking and raised his right hand, lightly pressing towards the front. The terrifying power of the life rule and death rule, after fusing, began to burst forth, the breath of both extreme rules continuously infiltrating the numerous spatial layers, vaguely starting to affect the stability of the Xianxia secret realm. The six-armed silhouette's expression changed slightly. Master, you can't continue attacking, the six-armed silhouette hurriedly said. Lin Yuan also noticed the changes in the Xianxia secret realm. When he exerted the life and death samsara rule in an attack, it was far from shaking the Xianxia secret realm, but it produced a continuous and lingering influence on the core essence of the realm. Indeed, the life and death samsara rule is formidable, Lin Yuan couldn't help but exclaim in his heart. With the foundation of his strength, the destructive power he unleashed under the life and death samsara rule had definitely reached the threshold of Tier 11. Master, that strike just now reached the Tier 11 threshold, the six-armed silhouette immediately said. At the same time, a trace of shock appeared on its face. Just entering the 10th rank and already capable of delivering such a terrifying strike. Was this still a 10th rank life? I know, Lin Yuan said, feeling quite pleased. However, although that strike reached the Tier 11 threshold, it's still a bit weaker compared to a true 11th rank powerhouse. The so-called Tier 11 threshold simply refers to a casual strike from a powerhouse who has just entered the Tier 11 level. But Lin Yuan wasn't discouraged. After all, how long had it been since he stepped into the 10th rank? To achieve this extent was already impressive, and after several decades or centuries, challenging an 11th rank powerhouse would be entirely possible. Virtual world. After Lin Yuan grasped the life and death samsara rule, he joined Black Star Lord and Lustrous Star Master for a casual chat. Ha ha ha, Galaxy Master. Your 10th rank celebration is almost catching up to the grandeur of Nalan's Tier 11 celebration, Black Star Lord laughed. I didn't expect everyone to be so enthusiastic, Lin Yuan said, with a smile on his face. After stepping into the 10th rank, Lin Yuan also held a 10th rank celebration, and as a result, he received various congratulations and celebrations. Evolvers of the 10th and 11th rank from human civilization, as well as many powers, all sent their congratulations. Of course, along with the congratulatory letters, the gifts were naturally quite significant. Even Black Star Lord and Lustrous Star Master sent over quite a generous gift. After the celebration, Lin Yuan, just in gift money, had received 7 to 8 million cubic universe crystals. That's because the one holding the celebration is the Galaxy Master, someone remarked. When I broke through to the 10th rank and had my celebration, it wasn't of this scale, Black Star Lord said, shaking his head. The potential of the Galaxy Master was limitless, and with the talents and capabilities he had shown so far, entering Tier 11 was a sure thing. Hence, many evolvers and powers naturally sent gifts. Black Star Lord, at the time of his own entry into the 10th rank, had a celebration that was only a bit more lively than normal, and at that time, Black Star Lord's displayed potential was far from what Lin Yuan was showing now. When you hold your Tier 11 celebration, it will definitely surpass mine, Lin Yuan immediately said. I hope so, Black Star Lord said, a smile appearing on his face. He too longed to step into Tier 11, but to take that step, accumulation alone wasn't enough. If it weren't for the stimulus provided by Lin Yuan leading to a change in mindset, it might have taken Nalan tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years to make the breakthrough. And even then, it would only be a possibility. After chatting with Black Star Lord and Lustrous Star Master for a while longer, Lin Yuan disconnected from the virtual world. Now that I've grasped the life and death samsara rule, I might as well go and explore the Black Planet, Lin Yuan thought. The Black Planet was a mysterious planet that Lin Yuan Taiyin primordial spirit had stumbled upon while returning from the Xianhuang's secret realm. There were 12 doors in the center of the planet, and the prerequisite to enter each door was understanding a pillar-level fusion rule. Lin Yuan remembered that one of the doors required the life and death samsara rule as its pillar-level fusion rule. The Black Planet. Lin Yuan's expression became solemn. According to the Goddess of Wisdom's explanation, the Black Planet came from an ancient past, from an event where countless treasures descended from outside the universe. The rise of human civilization was greatly attributed to this, as it was said they obtained part of a key treasure's heritage. Therefore, Lin Yuan paid great attention to that Black Planet. Let's go take a look. Lin Yuan's Taiyin primordial spirit appeared and then vanished in an instant, rushing towards the star domain where the Black Planet was located. Desolate star domain. Outside a seemingly ordinary Black Planet, Lin Yuan's figure emerged. As was his custom, he left a drop of his essence blood outside. Then he descended onto the Black Planet. In the center of the planet, 12 black doors stood tall, emanating an ancient and mysterious aura. Lin Yuan observed carefully for a while and eventually stood before one of the black doors. This door was the one corresponding to the life and death samsara rule. Only upon grasping such a pillar-level fusion rule could one enter. What should I do now? Lin Yuan stood outside the black door, his brow slightly furrowed. He then reached out, attempting to push the black door open. But the black door remained immovable. Life and death samsara rule. Lin Yuan looked at the patterns engraved on the surface of the door. The patterns were complex, but Lin Yuan understood their meaning at a glance. Grasping the life and death samsara rule is required to enter. After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan tried to congeal the power of the life and death samsara rule and slowly infused it into the black door. Shortly after, under Lin Yuan's gaze, a deep voice echoed in his ear. Qualifications met for entry. The next moment, the black door began to vibrate, thunderously opening. Without any hesitation, Lin Yuan stepped inside. What is this place? Walking into the black door, Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly as he looked around. Chapter 694 Lin Yuan's One Strike, Additional Release, Seeking Monthly Votes at the beginning of the month. Within the black door, there was a vast expanse of heaven and earth. Contained space within the Jiezi? Lin Yuan was cautious and kept observing his surroundings. The black sphere was not large, yet the space within the door was so vast. Lin Yuan did not find it strange. It was just a deeper application of the space rules. Lin Yuan's inner world extended over 200 million miles but was hidden within a fist-sized qi sea. It was a similar principle. The suppression in this space is so strong, Lin Yuan secretly exclaimed. The massive suppression was far beyond that of the Xianxia secret realm. Lin Yuan was now unable to even blend into the spatial layers. Over there. Lin Yuan looked ahead. Beneath his feet there was a path made of black pebbles. Aside from this path, everywhere else appeared white. It's only safe to walk along the path of black pebbles. Lin Yuan's third eye twitched as he looked toward the white area, a sense of dread rising in his heart, yet the narrow path of black pebbles brought a sense of safety. Can't go back. Lin Yuan turned to look. He found that the door behind him had already disappeared. Now, the only option for Lin Yuan was a single path. That was to keep moving forward. So be it. At most, I'll just lose this primordial spirit. It's not unacceptable. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan directly followed the path of black pebbles. Regarding this black sphere, Lin Yuan had already informed the goddess of wisdom. The three goddesses surely knew by now. If the three goddesses knew, then the Xianxia Supreme Being and other ultimate existences must definitely be aware. In such a situation, if the Xianxia Supreme Being did not specifically inform him, it indicated that there might not be any significant danger associated with the black sphere. The black sphere was related to the distant past event where countless treasures fell into the cosmic starry sky, and human civilization had acquired the key treasure and its heritage from that event, so the Xianxia Supreme Being must be quite knowledgeable about the black sphere. The fact that the Xianxia Supreme Being did not actively inform Lin Yuan signified that there were no irreparable dangers present. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, half an hour went by. I feel other rule fluctuations rapidly becoming vague, and only the life and death rules are starting to become clearer? Lin Yuan noticed the changes around him. Life and death rules? Is this world related to the life and death samsara rule? Many speculations arose in Lin Yuan's heart, but they were just that, speculations. To understand clearly, he had to continue onward. Xiaoyu Evolution Tower. Xianxia Supreme Being seemed to sense something, slightly lifting his head to look towards a certain area. If Lin Yuan were present, he would have noticed that the Xianxia Supreme Being's gaze was directed at the star domain where the black sphere was located. That kid went in. A smile appeared on Xianxia Supreme Being's face. A figure quickly condensed beside him. The feather butterfly Supreme Being. That heritage star probably originated from an oversight of the past. We've gone so many years without discovering it, yet that kid stumbled upon it so easily. He's really lucky. The feather butterfly Supreme Being smiled slightly. The black sphere's aura was completely concealed. Even Supreme Beings couldn't detect it unless they were within a certain proximity. Otherwise, with the perception of Supreme Beings that can see through millions and tens of millions of light-years at a glance, searching the entire cosmic starry sky would not take too long. Divine treasures conceal themselves. Some treasures cannot be detected unless one is close by. Even for certain kinds of treasures, if one does not meet the criteria, they might not detect any anomalies even when close. Just like the mysterious gourd Lin Yuan possesses. If it weren't for the physical body divine ability blood rebirth that Lin Yuan happened to master, it's likely he would still be clueless about the use of that gourd now. Inside the heritage star, there are paths of pillar-level fusion rules that only 10th rank life can enter. If that kid can get through 3 or 4 types, he might be able to step into tier 11, said the Xianxia Supreme Being. 3 or 4 types. The feather butterfly Supreme Being pondered for a while. Normally, a 10th rank evolver only needs to get through 1 to step into tier 11, but considering Lin Yuan's previous outstanding feats, going through 3 or 4 types is not out of the question. I just don't know how many realms of fusion rules the paths contained within that heritage star reach. The Xianxia Supreme Being muttered to himself. According to the highest secrets owned by human civilization, heritage stars from outside the universe also vary in rank. Depending on the maximum realms reached by the contained fusion rules paths, the higher the level, the more precious it is, but the harder it is to pass through as well. Of course, to know the maximum realms, one must first traverse a path of the fusion rules. Without doing so, even Supreme Beings cannot know its limits. Supreme beings have the means to destroy the black sphere, but such heritage stars will go into self-destruct mode if they sense an unstoppable threat. Within the black door. In the vast expanse of heaven and earth, Lin Yuan was walking step by step along the path made of black pebbles. Not knowing how much time had passed, Lin Yuan arrived in front of a black ritual altar. This place. Lin Yuan stopped in his tracks and began to sense carefully. Here, he could no longer perceive fluctuations from other rules. Only the life and death rules became incredibly clear. Not sensing rule fluctuations meant he could not borrow the power of the rules. For example, the spatial rupture fusion rules that Lin Yuan comprehended came from a fusion of the space rules and the golden rules. But in this world, the efficacy of such fusion rules would be greatly weakened, because he could not feel the space rules or the golden rules at all. He could only rely on the spatial rupture fusion rules he had mastered. But now, where should I go? Lin Yuan looked over the altar before him. After waiting cautiously for a while and noticing no changes, he stepped onto the altar. The moment Lin Yuan set foot on the altar, the entire altar began to shake slightly. Massive amounts of black light rapidly converged, condensing into a black-robed man with an ancient demeanor. Who are you? Lin Yuan looked at the black-robed man, his expression growing slightly solemn. Greetings. I am the altar spirit, and I shall now subject you to some trials. Should you pass, you will obtain the ultimate reward for this path of fusion rules. The black-robed man's tone was calm as he looked at Lin Yuan and said slowly, The altar spirit? Lin Yuan quickly understood the position of the black-robed man. Similar to the stone statue Xianxia in the demon jade space and the six-armed silhouette in the Xianhuang secret realm. May I ask, Senior, what is the ultimate reward? Lin Yuan immediately inquired. You'll know once you go in. The black-robed man shook his head. Only those who pass the trial may know what the ultimate reward is. However, I can hint that the ultimate reward is related to the life and death samsara rule. I see. Lin Yuan's face showed realization, but inside he was rather speechless. He naturally could speculate that the ultimate reward was related to the life and death samsara rule. Could it be that behind this door, which one could only enter upon comprehending the life and death samsara rule, lay a reward related to the Great Destruction rule? What is the trial? Lin Yuan asked again. The trial tests your mastery of the life and death samsara rule, the black-robed man stated succinctly. Presumably you have already felt that, in this world, only the fluctuations of life and death rules exist. No other rules can be perceived, the black-robed man said. Correct. Lin Yuan nodded. In short, the strongest rule that Lin Yuan could now wield was the life and death samsara rule. Now! The black-robed man gestured with a wave of his hand, and dozens of black stone walls descended, erecting themselves not far away. The dozens of black stone walls stood in a row from front to back. The life and death samsara rule is a rule of slaughter, and testing such a rule is based on the level of destructiveness caused. Now, operate the life and death samsara rule with all your strength and attack the black stone walls. The more walls you penetrate, the more hope you have of passing the trial, the black-robed man said directly without mincing words. Operate with all my strength? Lin Yuan repeated. Yes. Full strength. Let me see the limit of your destructive power, said the black-robed man, giving Lin Yuan an extra glance as if he wondered why Lin Yuan would ask such a question. Don't worry. Seeing the aura of your life and death samsara rule, you must have just grasped it. Under such circumstances, even if you stimulate the life and death samsara rule with all your might, the strength that erupts will barely penetrate the first black stone wall, not to mention completely pass through, the black-robed man patiently explained. Although he had predicted the scope of destruction Lin Yuan would cause by ultimately stimulating the life and death samsara rule, it was just the scope. As for how much power, like how much of the first black stone wall would be penetrated, it still needed Lin Yuan's own effort to verify. All right. Lin Yuan nodded. Since comprehending the life and death samsara rule, he had never yet fully utilized this rule in action. Even in the Xianhuang secret realm, he had stopped as soon as he realized the impact this fusion rule had on the realm, exercising restraint. Begin. After the black-robed man spoke, he became silent. When Lin Yuan opened the outer door with a trace of life and death samsara rule's power and entered, he made a rough estimate of the power of life and death samsara rule Lin Yuan had grasped. Life and death samsara. Lin Yuan raised his right hand and stretched out his index finger, solemnly touching each black stone wall that wasn't far away with a gentle tap. The black-robed man's face was initially expressionless, but soon after, his expression changed dramatically. He looked at Lin Yuan's gently extended finger in disbelief. What? The black-robed man's pupils shrank sharply. The next moment, the power of life and death samsara instantly pierced through billions of spatial layers, tearing open a hole. The black stone walls were crushed without a doubt, and that hole continued to spread swiftly towards the distance, piercing through the entire world in an instant and moving on to even deeper realms. It wasn't until a faint vibration echoed that everything settled down. Even so, in the gray area that the hole had passed through, the power of life and death samsara continued to operate ceaselessly. Everything was distorting, and everything was being annihilated. Xiayu Evolution Tower. Xia Qin Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly were leisurely chatting while observing the black star. At that moment, Xia Qin Supreme Being's complexion showed a strange change. He then looked carefully at the black star many light years away. After a moment, Xia Qin Supreme Being narrowed his eyes and spoke. Feather Butterfly, did you notice that the heritage star seemed to tremble just now? P.S. This chapter is a bonus update. Seeking a monthly vote guarantee for May. It's the beginning of the month with double benefits. Casting one monthly vote is like casting two. These 3 sentences are not charged for. Chapter 695 Exaggerated Accumulation Speed of World-Breaking Origin Force, Subscription Request. There was a tremor? The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being was astonished. These kinds of heritage stars were divided into 3 types. 9th rank Spatial Heritage Star, 10th rank Fusion Rule Heritage Star, 11th rank Fusion Rule Heritage Star. The Black Planet was a 10th rank Fusion Rule Heritage Star, which only allowed 10th rank life to enter. Besides understanding the corresponding pillar-level fusion rules, it also had intrinsic requirements for life level. Higher 11th rank life or lower 9th rank life did not qualify. Given the weight of the 10th rank Fusion Rule Heritage Star, if it were in the external world, even an 11th rank powerhouse could not budge it by an inch. If it were inside, an attack of an 11th rank level could potentially have an impact, but that introduces a paradox. That is, 10th rank Fusion Rule Heritage Star does not allow 11th rank life to enter. 11th rank life cannot enter, and 10th rank life is far too inferior to 11th rank life. Furthermore, the heritage space inside the heritage star suppresses other rule fluctuations, only allowing the operation of corresponding fusion rules. External forces, secret treasures, and other methods are all useless. This makes each heritage star extremely stable, not subject to changes due to external forces. Therefore, Xia Qin Supreme Being was a bit astonished. Let me take a look. The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being's thoughts stirred slightly. An incarnation immediately descended outside the Black Planet. At the same time, centered on the Black Planet, the time over millions of miles range suddenly began to reverse. It was as if a scene playing at normal speed suddenly started to rewind. Time reversal. This was a secret technique that any life that thoroughly understood the rule of time could perform. However, even for Lin Yuan, the area of his time reversal was at most tens to hundreds of miles. Any more would be too much to handle, yet the time reversal area of the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being spanned tens of millions of miles. And this was still just an insignificant incarnation of the Feather Butterfly Supreme Being, who could have as many such incarnations as she wanted within the territorial scope of human civilization under the coverage of the virtual networks. Indeed, there was a tremor. The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being nodded slightly. Through the time reversal, she also discovered that a minor tremor had occurred in the Black Planet. Why is that so? Xia Qin Supreme Being was somewhat surprised. The possibilities could be merely one of 2. One is that there might have been an issue or an accident with the operation itself inside the Black Planet. The other possibility is that a powerhouse within the internal heritage space of the Black Planet unleashed an 11th rank level attack, exceeding the internal thresholds of the Black Planet, thus causing the recent incident. The first possibility remains unspoken for now. The second possibility? At present, Lin Yuan is the only person inside the heritage space of the Black Planet. That is to say, if this possibility is true, then the person who unleashed the 11th rank attack is Lin Yuan. But how is that possible? If the gap between 8th layer and 9th rank is 1, then the gap between 9th rank and 10th rank is 100, and between 10th rank and 11th rank, it's 10,000 to 100,000. Fighting beyond one's rank? At the 3rd rank, 4th rank, and 5th rank, It might be realized by relying on one's own bloodline physique, mastery of secret techniques, and so on. But the higher the realm, the less likely such an event occurs, until it becomes impossible. Both supreme beings knew that when Lin Yuan broke through to 10th rank, he had endured the massive infusion of chaos void origin, gaining tremendous benefits. But even significant benefits cannot change the fact that Lin Yuan is 10th rank life. Perhaps with Lin Yuan's talent and having endured so much chaos void origin infusion, training to the peak of 10th rank, he might hope to elevate his attack ability to the threshold of 11th rank. But how long has it been? A normal newcomer to 10th rank as an evolver is still not completely accustomed to his newly increased power. Yet Lin Yuan's attack has reached the threshold of 11th rank? This young fellow? The feather butterfly supreme being shook her head slightly. Ever since the two of them started paying attention to Lin Yuan, the frequency of their surprises almost matched the total of the past several million to tens of millions of years. Human civilization in the Starry Sea era has only extended over slightly more than 2 million years. But before the Starry Sea era, there were long periods of dormancy. Xia Qin Supreme Being and Feather Butterfly Supreme Being were naturally far older than 2 million years. They were born before the long periods of dormancy. Inside the Black Planet. Within the vast universe. The man in the black robe blankly stared at the terrifying scene caused by Lin Yuan's strike. The power of life and death samsara, exuding strands of terrifying aura, constantly spread towards the outside world along the holes, even distorting and erasing the space under its influence. Is this the newly comprehended life and death samsara rule? The man in the black robe was silent for a long time. At least it matches the life and death samsara rule of the second realm or even the third realm. The man in the black robe's gaze shifted, looking at Lin Yuan, who dealt the recent strike, his mind replaying numerous scenes. As the altar spirit, he had absolute control over this space. The life and death samsara rule operated by Lin Yuan was indeed newly comprehended, merely at the early stage of the first realm. Whether it's an ordinary fusion rule or a pillar-level fusion rule, based on the depth of comprehension, it is divided from the first realm to the 9th realm. For a 10th rank evolver to break through to tier 11, the threshold is at least to comprehend one pillar-level fusion rule and cultivate this rule to the second realm. The understanding of rules is extremely difficult, let alone the fusion of rules. If understanding the inherent rules of the universe, one just needs to quietly comprehend the fluctuations of the rules. Chapter 696 Exaggerated Accumulation Speed of World-Breaking Origin Force, Subscription Request. _2 Having a direction for the path ahead, although difficult, at least provided an end in sight. But fusion rules? Fusion rules were created by the strong according to their own understanding, blending different rules' characteristics. In the practice of fusion rules, every realm varied drastically. Why does the life and death samsara rule of the first realm possess such great power? The man in the black robe closely observed Lin Yuan. Without the aid of any external forces, nor any fluctuations from a secret treasure weapon, could it be his own strength? His physical vitality far exceeds that of a normal 10th rank life. The man in the black robe faintly discovered something. The tests of this world did not permit the use of any external forces. But here, external forces referred to secret treasure weapons, or other high-level reserves and so on. What about one's own strength, such as physical soul and spirit will? Did that count as an external force? In the original rules of the Black Planet, it did not count as external force. Lin Yuan activated the life and death samsara rule, which he had only recently comprehended, staying at the beginning of the first realm. But his own foundation was too powerful. Like the same knife, when swung with a force of 100 pounds, compared to the swing with 100 tons. The unleashed power was obviously different. And here, the knife referred to the life and death samsara rule. The depth of understanding the life and death samsara rule certainly affected the power of this type of fusion rule. But it also related to the master of this rule. Senior, have I passed the test? Lin Yuan unleashed a strike with all his might, then immediately looked towards the man in the black robe standing not far away and asked. The man in the black robe had told him not to hold back, and Lin Yuan naturally did not hold back either. His strike was generated with full force, pouring in the vast power of his inner world, the strength of his physical vitality and soul, along with the mysterious yellow strike cultivated to the third stage. As for the divine skill strengthening, Lin Yuan did not use it, for if he activated this divine skill, it wouldn't be a strike with all his might, but a desperate one. According to the rules, you naturally passed the test, the man in the black robe said tonelessly. The original test set by the Black Planet was, As long as Lin Yuan possessed the power of the life and death samsara rule at the peak of first realm, he could pass. This was essentially the peak that a 10th rank life could reach. What about the life and death samsara rule of the second realm? Cultivating pillar-level fusion rules to the second realm would quickly step into tier 11. Although Lin Yuan's life and death samsara rule was only beginning at the first realm in terms of understanding, the power had even reached the threshold of the third realm. That's good. A smile emerged on Lin Yuan's face. The test within the Black Planet wasn't too troublesome. Merely one strike was enough. Through that door lies the ultimate reward of this path. The man in the black robe looked at Lin Yuan for a while before speaking. Not far away. A black door appeared there, unnoticed. Compared to the 12 massive gates on the outside, this black gate, standing only 5 meters tall, seemed rather modest. But let me remind you, any life only has one chance to enter this door. If you leave in the middle, even if you pass the test again, you cannot enter. The man in the black robe cautioned. I wonder if there is any danger inside the door? Lin Yuan asked tentatively. There is no danger. The man in the black robe shook his head. He didn't know what was inside, but he was sure there was no danger. Then, inside the door, will there be any need to use strength? Lin Yuan continued to inquire. Since you have already passed the test, there is no need for another test, the man in the black robe replied. Can I send an incarnation in? Lin Yuan thought for a moment before speaking. An incarnation, unlike an avatar, was a vessel formed by gathering a strand of spirit will and cosmic forces. Its strength was far inferior to that of the original's avatar. The man in the black robe had reminded him that once he left the door during the period, he would not be able to re-enter. Lin Yuan naturally had to be cautious. Yes, the man in the black robe nodded. Good. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly. A phantom figure condensed in front of him. He immediately exchanged a glance with Lin Yuan, then stepped through the black gate. Where is this? Lin Yuan's incarnation, after a brief darkness akin to a fish leaping out of water, finally arrived at the destination. This was a space with a circumference of several miles. The left half was filled with fluctuations of life rules. The right half brimmed with death rules fluctuations. The two types of rules transformed into each other, merging together. The end of life is death. The end of death is life. Life and death samsara, an endless cycle. Fusion rules guiding the path? Lin Yuan's mind churned. Fusion rules, unlike the inherent cosmic rules, had no general direction. Understanding fusion rules was mainly up to oneself. However, nothing is absolute. If a being who had reached the 7th realm in understanding fusion rules was willing to strip their understanding, it could be crafted into such guidance paths. Just 7th realm fusion rules? Even just ordinary rules between fusion rules, reaching the 7th realm was the limit for an 11th rank life. If it was pillar-level fusion rules 7th realm, that was a domain only supreme beings could step into. The life and death samsara rule before him was indeed a pillar-level rule, which meant the present life and death samsara rules guidance path originated from some supreme being's stripping of understanding of this kind of fusion rules. This form of stripping was a permanent removal. Even for a supreme being, it was a substantial sacrifice. Life and death samsara rules guidance path. Reaching the 4th realm. Lin Yuan briefly comprehended and concluded in his mind. The guidance path of the 4th realm meant that Lin Yuan, while comprehending the life and death samsara rule, could obtain specific guidance from the 1st to the 4th realm. Chapter 697 Exaggerated Accumulation Speed of World-Breaking Origin Force, Seeking Subscriptions. _3 According to the degree of separation from their own insights into the fusion rules, supreme beings formed different guiding paths. Merely from the 2nd realm to the guiding path, the impact on supreme beings wasn't very significant. They could regain their cultivation by continuing to comprehend for a few thousand years. If it were a 3rd realm guiding path, it would significantly affect the supreme beings, needing at least several tens of thousands of years of recomprehension to recover. A 4th realm guiding path was the limit a supreme being could recover from. If it were a 5th realm guiding path, the stripped supreme being might as well give up on that fusion rule. What exactly is the origin of this black planet that compels a supreme being to pay such a price? Lin Yuan secretly thought. No, not right. Not one supreme being. Perhaps 12 supreme beings. Because there were 12 black gates on the black planet. Each black gate corresponded to different pillar-level fusion rules, such as the life and death samsara rule of the 4th realm guiding path that Lin Yuan could currently see. The ultimate rewards of the other 11 black gates were likely similar. Never mind. I will begin comprehending now. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and immediately started observing the rules of life and death around him. Your understanding is against heaven. Viewing the essence fusion of the life and death rules significantly boosts your comprehension of the life and death samsara rule. Merely after a brief moment of comprehension, Lin Yuan felt the bottleneck that had once trapped him dissolving. At this moment, the life and death samsara rule seemed like it had switched to easy mode for him. Based on my current speed of comprehension, in at most 50 years, I can elevate the life and death samsara rule to the second realm. Lin Yuan's eyes sparkled. 50 years? For a 10th rank evolver. 50 years pass in a blink. 10th rank evolvers who wish to train up to the 10th rank summit and achieve pillar-level fusion rules don't know how many tens of thousands of years it would take, eventually elevating the pillar-level fusion rules to the second realm. This bottleneck has trapped a large number of 10th rank summit evolvers. The previous Nalan, as well as seasoned grade 10th rank individuals like the Black Star-Lord and Lustra Star-Lord, were also stuck here. Even for Lin Yuan, who possessed against heaven's understanding, it would probably take several hundred years to cultivate the life and death samsara rule to the second realm. But now just 50 years? Sir, the Oval Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. That is to say, as long as Lin Yuan wishes, he could try breaking through to Tier 11 after 50 years. What a major opportunity! Lin Yuan's mind was exhilarated. This formation of the fusion rules guiding path, involving the levels of supreme beings, had only been heard of by Lin Yuan so far, and he had never seen it. Within human civilization, there might be similar opportunities, but it would definitely require queuing. For instance, inside a black gate on the Black Planet, only one life could be admitted at any one time. For example, currently, an incarnation of Lin Yuan was comprehending the guiding path of the life and death samsara rule. Even if other 10th rank evolvers passed the test behind the gate, they would have to wait until Lin Yuan finished his comprehension before they could enter. Milky Way main star. A smile also appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Lucky I let my incarnation go in. Otherwise, if it was an avatar, it might have been trapped there for quite some time. Lin Yuan was in a good mood. Even though having a complete guiding path, he knew that elevating the life and death samsara rule to the fourth realm would also take quite some time. If the Tai-Yin primordial spirit had entered that door, Lin Yuan estimated that he would be unable to use that divine spirit's combat power for a long time. After all, during the period of comprehending the fusion rules guiding path, once you leave, you can't continue to go in, which was a price Lin Yuan found hard to accept. Now, the incarnation is there perceiving the life and death samsara rule. Both major divine spirits can still be used, which is the best outcome. Lin Yuan thought for a while, then took out the mysterious gourd, inverted its mouth, and condensed a drop of purple liquid. Since stepping into the 10th rank, having endured a massive chaos void origin infusion, Lin Yuan's flesh, inner world, and soul had all surged several levels. This led to a rapid increase in the absorption of the purple liquid inside the mysterious gourd. It was estimated that it wouldn't take long before he could completely absorb the purple liquid, and by then, the direct size of Lin Yuan's inner world would reach an unprecedented 2.33 billion square miles. Has the Taiyang divine spirit already reached beneath that eternal spatial rift? Just as Lin Yuan was absorbing the purple liquid, his thoughts suddenly stirred, and his gaze turned toward that large alien battlefield. Battlefield A098. Near the central northern region, a 1,000-mile-wide eternal spatial rift stretched across. Just then, a figure appeared silently. Eternal spatial rift? Lin Yuan looked up at the 1,000-mile-wide fissure in the heavens above. The gray, misty airflow occasionally floated in, emitting fluctuations that made Lin Yuan's spirit tremble. The biggest difference between the eternal spatial rifts on the small-sized otherworldly battlefield and those on the medium-sized otherworldly battlefield is that the ones on a large alien battlefield, due to the excessively large torn area, were already allowing some things from beyond the universe to squeeze in, such as the body of a supreme being that drifted in over 100 years ago. Over the long years, many things have drifted into the large battlefield through the eternal spatial rifts, though the vast majority are extremely dangerous. For example, as recorded in human civilization, during the dormant years, the insect race and Tianyu clan opened up a large battlefield with an eternal spatial rift that squeezed in a bizarre life form. This bizarre life form almost brought an irreversible disaster to the cosmic starry skies. Finally, Over 10 supreme beings had to collaboratively banish this bizarre life form back outside the universe. There are many such examples, and basically, 9 out of 10 things that drift in through the eternal spatial rift will cause disasters of varying degrees. In a large alien battlefield, I have to be even more cautious. Aside from facing those alien strong ones, I also need to be vigilant about the changes in the eternal spatial rift at all times. Lin Yuan's expression grew solemn. But then, a smile appeared on his face. Because upon arriving at this 1,000-mile-wide eternal spatial rift, Lin Yuan had already felt the speed of accumulating world-breaking origin force reaching nearly exaggerated levels. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 698 The Transformation of the Mysterious Gourd. Please subscribe. Without any enhancement, the door to the myriad realms operated on its own, accumulating world-breaking origin force at a pace of 1 strand every 333 days. The eternal spatial rift in alien battlefield B0001 increased the accumulation speed of world-breaking origin force to 1 strand every 150 days. And now, Lin Yuan clearly felt that the absorption speed of the world-breaking origin force had once again ascended a level. It reached an unprecedented 90 days per strand. In other words, every 90 days that passed in the main world, it could accumulate 1 strand of world-breaking origin force. In 1 year, it would accumulate 4 strands. In 10 years, 40 strands. In 100 years, 400 strands. With the world-breaking origin force I now possess, already exceeding 200 strands, wouldn't staying in this large alien battlefield for a while enable me to easily surpass 1,000 strands? Lin Yuan's spirit was elated. The world-breaking origin force was linked to the operation of the door to the myriad realms, the more the better. The 10th traversal. Wait until my strength hits a bottleneck, then undertake the 10th traversal. Lin Yuan's consciousness plunged deeper into his mind, gazing at that majestic and magnificent door to the myriad realms. At present, Lin Yuan had just entered Tier 10 and was comprehending the fusion rules pathways on the Black Star, his strength in its fastest period of growth. Traverse now? That would be somewhat wasteful. Where else to cultivate if not in cultivation? For Lin Yuan, traversing worlds was no different from being in the main world. Continue cultivating. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. The improved speed of world-breaking origin force accumulation only required Lin Yuan to stay underneath the eternal spatial rift. There was no need for mental engagement. Lin Yuan could completely turn to comprehend the secret techniques of the rules. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan was practicing enlightenment. Suddenly, Xianxia's supreme being is looking for me? Lin Yuan split a sliver of will, connected to the virtual world, and entered the personal world of the supreme being. Supreme being. Lin Yuan bowed slightly. Xianxia's supreme being had helped him numerous times, and showing respect to a 12th rank ultimate being was only natural. Lin Yuan. Xianxia's supreme being looked at Lin Yuan with a smile and asked, "Have you passed the test of the Heritage Star and seen the Fusion Rules Pathway Guide?" Heritage Star? Lin Yuan instantly understood that the Heritage Star referred to by Xianxia's supreme being was the Black Star. It didn't surprise Lin Yuan that Xianxia's supreme being was aware of the Black Star's existence. As anything the 3 goddesses knew, Xianxia's supreme being could also know. Lin Yuan had uploaded the information about the Black Star to the Goddess of Wisdom and thus had anticipated this day. "I have seen it. And I'm currently contemplating it," Lin Yuan replied truthfully. Through the information about the Black Star provided by the Goddess of Wisdom, Lin Yuan could guess that human civilization also possessed a similar heritage star. "How is it? And the Fusion Rules Pathway Guide, how far have you reached?" Xianxia's supreme being asked with slight curiosity. "4th realm," Lin Yuan stated directly. "A 4th realm pathway guide?" Xianxia's supreme being looked surprised. He had thought it would only be a 2nd or 3rd realm pathway guide, which is why the Goddess of Wisdom ended up offering 500 million merit points. But a 4th realm? That meant the value of the Black Star exceeded 500 million by 10-fold or even 100-fold. "Your luck, it's unparalleled," Xianxia's supreme being couldn't help but express his admiration. Chancing upon a heritage star worth tens or even hundreds of billions of merit points just by traveling. Lin Yuan couldn't help nodding. Indeed. Over the past more than 100 years, having undergone 9 traversals and opened up the martial path evolutionary path, the total merit points he had reaped were also in the hundreds of millions. Not even close to the real value of the Black Star. This was the chance encounter, the main reason most evolvers were keen on venturing out, because one critical opportunity could greatly enhance their foundation. Of course, no matter how great the opportunity, it needed to be built on one's own strength. If the discoverer of the Black Star wasn't Lin Yuan but an ordinary human citizen, they absolutely couldn't have a fair trade with human civilization. It was precisely because Lin Yuan, the strongest genius in human civilization's history, that he obtained the qualifications to negotiate. How do you plan to dispose of this heritage star? Xianxia Supreme Being asked. Please advise, Supreme Being, Lin Yuan said at once. My suggestion is, lease it out, Xianxia Supreme Being said with a smile. A fourth realm fusion rules pathway guide is enough to drive our human civilization's 10th rank evolvers mad. They would be willing to pay a huge price to come in and comprehend it, Xianxia Supreme Being explained. Regarding this suggestion, he had no ulterior motives, but rather was considering the maximization of Lin Yuan's interests from his perspective. Lin Yuan can only enter 12 doors on the Black Star at most, a maximum of 12 times. What about after those 12 times? The Black Star wouldn't be destroyed. Leaving it idle and leasing it out to create more benefit was the best choice. What does the Supreme Being think the rent should be? Lin Yuan wasn't opposed to leasing out the Black Star. Mainly, whether the price was satisfactory to him. 1 billion, Xianxia Supreme Being stated calmly. 1 billion. Lin Yuan blinked in surprise. 1 billion merit points for one opportunity to enter and comprehend, Xianxia Supreme Being clarified. 1 billion merit points? Lin Yuan took a deep breath. SAR the Novel Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. He had been wondering what unit Xianxia Supreme Being's 1 billion referred to, cosmic crystals or something else. The result was merit points? Merit points of human civilization, one of the most stable currencies in the cosmic starry skies, even above cosmic crystals, could purchase many restricted-level resources within human civilization. Merely for one chance to enter and comprehend, demanding a sky-high price of 1 billion merit points, Lin Yuan felt somewhat reluctant. 100 million merit points for one contemplation session isn't high, explained Xianxia Supreme Being. You should know that the guide path within that heritage star reaches up to the 4th realm. Every evolver who enters to comprehend will elevate their fusion rules to the 4th realm before leaving. This takes up a considerable amount of time, and the final gain is a 4th realm fusion rule? Even within the tier 11 level, that wouldn't be considered weak. Yes, Lin Yuan nodded. Even so, the Dark Planet had a total of 12 black gates, theoretically capable of accommodating up to 12 evolvers at the same time. 100 million merit points per person, 12 people would make it 12 billion merit points. Such a colossal sum of merit points could easily elevate an ordinary citizen to the heights of a 9th-level citizen. And this is only the rent for the first round. Once this batch of contemplators leave, wouldn't the rent for the next batch come in? However, Supreme Being, I think I will wait until I step into tier 11 before I rent it out, Lin Yuan contemplated and then said. Although the rent was tempting, Lin Yuan likewise valued his own advancement. Other evolvers, even if they possessed this dark planet, would have limited energy and could at most contemplate 1 or 2. But Lin Yuan, with his against heaven's understanding, could completely comprehend all 12 pillar-level fusion rules. And during this period, Lin Yuan would not let other evolvers come in to contemplate. Otherwise, if he wanted to comprehend the fusion rule guide path that others were contemplating, he would have to wait for them to finish. No problem, Xianxia Supreme Being said nonchalantly. What of it? In the eyes of Xianxia Supreme Being, with Lin Yuan's talent, stepping into tier 11 wouldn't take too long. And suggesting Lin Yuan to rent out the Dark Planet would also enhance the overall strength of human civilization. With every additional 4th realm fusion rule evolver, the overall foundation of human civilization would be improved. And Lin Yuan would gain considerable benefits as well. It was a win-win situation. After leaving Xianxia Supreme Being's personal space, Lin Yuan disconnected from the virtual world and sat in the Star-Lord's Great Hall on the Milky Way main star. 12 billion merit points? Lin Yuan's heart was joyous. As long as he comprehended all 12 fusion rule guide paths within the Dark Planet, he could then rent out the 12 contemplation opportunities of the Dark Planet. By then, he would have 12 billion merit points credited to his account. Even without opening the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter, he would be able to steadily rise to become a 9th-level citizen. However, having stepped into the 10th rank for so long, which rare treasure should I choose? Lin Yuan's thoughts shifted, and he became somewhat conflicted. The rare treasures here refer to the rewards obtained for passing the 5th floor of the 9 floors Dark Tower in the Demon Jade space. Early in his 9th rank, Lin Yuan had fully comprehended the rule of time, taking time to penetrate through the 5th floor of the Dark Tower. After all, passing the 5th floor at 9th rank, compared to doing so at 10th rank in Tier 11, was an entirely different concept. The Dark Tower's rewards also depended on the potential of the cultivator. If one could pass the 5th floor at 9th rank, what did that say about their potential? Therefore, the final reward list given by the stone statue Xianxia had left Lin Yuan hesitant to decide until now. There were 5 rare treasures on the reward list. Lin Yuan could choose only one out of the 5. And these 5 rare treasures, according to the standards of the main universe, they were all 12-star rare treasures, corresponding to the treasures of the Supreme Being level. The eternal spring that Lin Yuan once immersed himself in was a 12-star rare treasure. It was for this reason that Lin Yuan had not yet decided. After all, the reward was there. Delaying the selection would not make much of a difference. Let's look again. After contemplating for a moment, Lin Yuan felt that it was better not to rush. He would wait until he had practiced for a while longer, determine his needs, and then make the most beneficial choice. Half a year later. Inner world. Lin Yuan looked down. At this moment, the peripheral area of this inner world was expanding once again. The direct size of the inner world had reached 33 billion square miles. That was the limit size the inner world could achieve after fully absorbing the 7 types of liquids in the mysterious gourd. Yes, just now. Lin Yuan had completely absorbed that drop of purple liquid. I can feel it. My inner world has reached some kind of ultimate state, Lin Yuan silently thought. After a while, Lin Yuan's consciousness left the inner world, returning to the outside. And then he looked solemnly at the gray-purple gourd in front of him. Now that he had absorbed all 7 types of liquid, what would happen next with this mysterious gourd? With this thought, Lin Yuan held the gourd in his right hand. As Lin Yuan's physical body touched the gourd, this mysterious gourd seemed to detect the changes in Lin Yuan. A torrent of information burst forth from the gourd, exploding in Lin Yuan's mind. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 699 Aurora from Beyond the Universe. Subscribe requested. The grayish-purple gourd vibrated. Streams of information flowed into Lin Yuan's mind. So, after absorbing the 7 liquids, there's a follow-up. Lin Yuan rubbed his temples. The information transmitted by the grayish-purple gourd was scant. To sum it up, it was essentially this. Following the 7th purple liquid, there was an 8th liquid. But to condense this 8th liquid, there were requirements for both the physical body and the spatial aspect within. The flesh had to reach the level of the 12th rank while the inner space had to transform into the scope of an inner universe. Only a body in inner space of this caliber could support the amplification brought about by the 8th liquid. The 12th rank level? An inner universe? Lin Yuan was inwardly astonished. An existence that simultaneously met these 2 conditions was probably only a supreme being. Among the myriad informations of the profound yellow lineage, with the aid of numerous external secret techniques and specific fusion rules, there was a slim hope of elevating an 11th rank live's physical body to the threshold of the 12th rank. But an inner universe? It was only from striving for the ultimate leap, reaching the utmost sublimation, that there was hope to form it. Saw the novel, Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Even for Lin Yuan, his current inner world was far from meeting the minimum criteria for an inner universe. Even with another infusion of chaos void origin, causing the foundation of the inner world to soar several tiers, it would still fall short compared to an inner universe. The inner universe of a supreme being was the source of their power, their reliance to step beyond the river of time, akin to a weakened version of the main universe. What is the origin of this gourd? Lin Yuan's expression was solemn as he observed the grayish-purple gourd floating before him. Although he didn't know what use the 8th liquid from the gourd had for the inner universe, comparing to the effects the first 7 liquids had on Lin Yuan's own inner world, it was easy to deduce that even a supreme being would undergo some kind of transformation because of it. And this was incredibly astonishing. How high was the level of a supreme being? Some treasures and rare items have significant advancing effects on 10th rank lives and 11th rank lives. But in front of a supreme being, they were commonly of little use. Let alone transformation. A treasure or rarity that could induce a transformation in a supreme being. At least Lin Yuan had never heard of such. I must secure the gourd well. Lin Yuan's thoughts converged. Originally, Lin Yuan thought that the mysterious gourd was only effective for lives below the 12th rank. Even so, its value far exceeded that of the eternal spring. But now, even a supreme being could undergo a transformation with it. The mysterious gourd's value was immeasurable. Put it away? Where to keep it? Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly. He communicated with the Xianxia secret realm, placed the mysterious gourd into a space bracelet, and then sent it to the deepest part of the Xianxia secret realm. Although Lin Yuan's true body presided over the Milky Way main star, located within the territory of the human civilization, under the watchful eyes of supreme beings, it was not completely foolproof. For instance, if several supreme beings of different species were to join forces and come, it was possible that they could kill Lin Yuan and seize the mysterious gourd before the supreme beings of human civilization could respond. Of course, this possibility was slim. How could such beings ally to strike at a mere 10th rank life? And with the presence of the soul-settling pearl, the supreme beings of different species wouldn't be able to completely kill Lin Yuan. But the possibility remained. Lin Yuan had to be cautious. Placing the mysterious gourd into the Xianxia secret realm, one could basically say it was completely secure. At least since the Xianxia secret realm appeared, no supreme being had entered it yet. To put the mysterious gourd in the Xianxia secret realm was much safer than having it on Lin Yuan himself. It would just be a bit more of a hassle to use it later. But Lin Yuan didn't mind. The Black Planet. The life and death samsara rule guided the space for the pathway. An incarnation of Lin Yuan sat here, continuously observing the merger and alternation of life and death. Almost every second, Lin Yuan gained new insights into the life and death samsara rule. His against heaven's understanding, along with a guided pathway, almost made his progress in cultivating this fusion rule soar. Sublime. 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 Who would have thought that life and death could combine in this way? Immersed in the process, Lin Yuan's mind was filled with flashes of spiritual light. For a normal 10th rank life to have any enlightenment on pillar-level fusion rules, it would take an unknown amount of effort and sacrifice. But for Lin Yuan now, it had virtually become a daily affair. Life, it's not simply about living. Death is not just the end. The more Lin Yuan meditated, the deeper his understanding of these two rules became, and the deeper his comprehension of the life and death samsara rule grew. The rules of life and death, if it were just one of them, would not be considered a very strong pillar rule. But when fused, the power of life and death samsara that burst forth suddenly made it one of the several fusion rules best known for its lethal force. Code A076 Alien Race Battlefield. Compared to the large alien battlefield where Lin Yuan was, this large alien battlefield was a bit more intense. It brought together the human civilization, the Jianghu clan, the prison tribe, the insect race, and other 4 peak clans. The entire battlefield was akin to a meat grinder, with 8th layer and 9th rank powerhouses dying daily. Even for a 10th rank powerhouse without reaching grade A, in the heat of a fierce battle, it was easy to fall. Of course, the powerful individuals who dared to come to a large alien battlefield generally only sent avatars. However, the fall of an avatar still significantly affected the true body. Uplifting an avatar to be nearly as strong as the true body required nearly as many resources as the true body itself. A 10th rank powerhouse who lost an avatar would likely not recover for thousands or tens of thousands of years if you find any errors. Ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 700 Auroras from Beyond the Cosmos. Please subscribe. Under 2 Whoosh. In the center of battlefield A076, deep within an eternal spatial rift thousands of miles long, a gray fog slowly dissipated. Deep within the eternal spatial rift, the gray fog was omnipresent. This was the Chaos Void, the birthplace of countless universes, the Chaos Void. And at a far distance outside this eternal spatial rift, an aura-like radiance, scintillating with brilliant colors, shot through with incredible speed. Where the aurora passed, all the gray fog was evaporated completely. Just a few breaths had passed. The dazzling aurora had penetrated deep into the eternal spatial rift. Battlefield A076. Many strong entities were engaged in battle. Even powerhouses of Tier 10 Grade A and Tier 11 occasionally entered the fray, influencing the tilt of the scales in localized wars. At that moment, above the battlefield, within the eternal spatial rift, a dazzling aurora burst forth. Boom, boom, boom. The aurora tore through everything. Even the incredibly stable space of the large battlefield was as fragile as thin paper, and even the battlefield itself was exceedingly weak. Arg! What is this? On the battlefield, many 11th rank lives hadn't even reacted before they were reduced to dust by the aurora. In the blink of an eye, Battlefield A076, spanning hundreds to thousands of light-years in diameter, collapsed rapidly, with countless lives, including 11th rank powerhouses, all perishing. Moreover, an invisible wave, following each dead life form, spread towards all directions of the universe. This aurora? Around the battlefield, towering figures appeared, their faces grave as they observed the shattered large alien battlefield and that still mighty, undiminished, brilliant-colored aurora. Stop it! More than 10 towering figures took action swiftly, power transcending time and space spreading unceasingly, and ultimately, they contained the aurora. This aurora carries the power of a causal curse killing. Every life that dies under the aurora has to bear the corresponding causal curse killing. Sir the Novel Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lives below the 10th rank should not be able to withstand it. Which ancient relics method is this again? The more than 10 towering figures were all supreme beings. They exchanged a few words and started to study the aurora. Over the long years, various variables often poured into the eternal spatial rift, like the body of a supreme being over 100 years ago, as well as the brilliant aurora that just appeared. Both entities clearly reached the 12th rank level, especially that aurora. After traversing an endless distance, the remaining might was still tremendously terrifying. What happened in alien race battlefield code A076 quickly spread to all the myriad clans of the cosmic starry sky. What? A large alien battlefield has disappeared? Lin Yuan blinked, looking at Nalan, the tower submaster. The size of each large alien battlefield was hundreds of light-years in diameter, and even within the vast cosmic starry skies, they were considered colossal. How could it just vanish into thin air? It is said that it was shattered by an aurora from beyond the universe. Nalan, the tower submaster, said with an unusually shocked tone. Normally, large alien battlefields, personally refined by supreme beings, are difficult to destroy. Even in battles between supreme being, only parts of it would be shattered at most, as they tend to avoid damaging the battlefield as much as possible when clashing. An aurora from beyond the universe? Lin Yuan raised an eyebrow. Exactly, said Nalan, the tower submaster. An aurora from beyond the universe shattered the entire large alien battlefield. If not for the supreme being's intervention, that aurora's might could have caused widespread devastation. This incident was no secret. Now the entire myriad clans of the cosmic starry sky were abuzz with it. Terrifying. Lin Yuan fell silent for a while. He had long known that the dangers on the large alien battlefields were not limited to the different species. Outside the eternal spatial rift, the many perils of the chaos void also threatened all the strong entities on the battlefield. What has become of that aurora now? Lin Yuan couldn't help asking. Not sure, replied Nalan, the tower submaster, shaking her head. It's likely fallen into the hands of a supreme being. That aurora carries the power of causal curse killing. All lives below 9th rank and 8th rank that died under the aurora, along with their avatars, perished completely. Our human civilization has lost over 1 million 9th rank and 8th rank lives because of this, Nalan added. Causal curse killing power. Lin Yuan's expression grew solemn. Such a widespread curse killing power against 9th and 8th rank lives, even to a supreme being, would be a burden. So the next date for human civilization's resurrection should be moved up, said Nalan, the tower submaster. Based on past patterns, the next time supreme beings would act to resurrect lives should be in 2,000 years. But with the collapse of a large alien battlefield, the number of evolved human civilization lives lost has suddenly surged several levels, effectively filling up the resurrection list for the next 2,000 years. Under such circumstances, Supreme beings usually take action to resurrect earlier than planned. The resurrection date will be moved up? Lin Yuan nodded slightly. He wasn't entirely clueless about this. When supreme beings resurrect dead lives, it's not based on intervals of time. It's based on the number of dead lives, that is, the number of evolvers on the resurrection list. Once the number of evolvers on the resurrection list reaches the threshold, supreme beings will act to resurrect en masse. In the personal virtual world of Xianxia Supreme Being. Supreme Being. Lin Yuan's figure appeared, bowing slightly to Xianxia Supreme Being seated on the throne. How is it? How's your comprehension of the fusion rules within the heritage star going? Xianxia Supreme Being asked with a smile on his face. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 701 Auroras from Beyond the Cosmos, please subscribe. Under so 3-inch it's manageable, Lin Yuan nodded, with the guidance of fusion rules and his against heaven's understanding. Lin Yuan's comprehension of the life and death samsara rule had advanced rapidly. To say it progressed by leaps and bounds each day was not an exaggeration. This meeting with the Supreme Being is for a matter. Lin Yuan hesitated before speaking up. Oh, what matter? The expression of Xianxia Supreme Being remained unchanged, but he was quite pleased internally. He was not afraid of Lin Yuan asking him for favors, only that Lin Yuan would have no requests at all. I heard that the resurrection date will be moved up, Lin Yuan inquired. Yes. The next resurrection time will be set for a year from now. Xianxia Supreme Being nodded. When the resurrection list was full, naturally, the sooner the resurrection, the better. 4 ultimate beings, going against the flow required a cost, which was already set here. Resurrecting one life or tens of thousands, the cost of traversing upstream was the same. The backlash that follows would depend on the strength and number of lives resurrected. I have a good friend who has just entered 6th rank, not included in this resurrection list. Lin Yuan spoke up. To get on the resurrection list, there were 2 ways. One was to have an extremely astonishing natural talent and capability. Such an evolver, if they met an untimely demise, would be listed for resurrection by the goddess of wisdom. The second was for evolvers who fell on the battlefield. Every evolver who went to battle did so for humanity. Those killed by different species were typically resurrected by their own supreme beings. Of course, whether the first or the second, the resurrected evolvers had to bear part of the cost. But compared to living once more, this cost was naturally negligible. Do you wish for me to also resurrect your friend by any chance? Xianxia Supreme Being asked. Yes, Lin Yuan nodded. Feng Qing had previously lost his spirit will to Tuoba Ancient God due to the Ancient God's evolution path, threatening Lin Yuan with it. Lin Yuan naturally did not succumb to threats. He took action first, preemptively cursed killing that trace of Feng Qing's spirit will. This act might seem ruthless, but it was Feng Qing's best chance to survive. If Lin Yuan didn't act and let Tuoba Ancient God replace the experience, Feng Qing's memories would be contaminated, rendering him unable to be resurrected. However, given Feng Qing's talent and ability, he had not yet met the prerequisites for resurrection. Thus, he was not on the Supreme Being's resurrection list, necessitating Lin Yuan to personally plead for mercy. A small matter. Just send me the resurrection candidate citizenship number later, Xianxia Supreme Being said nonchalantly. For an ultimate being, what was resurrecting a 6th rank evolver who had just entered the ranks? Especially since it was done along with a large batch of evolvers. Thanks, Supreme Being, Lin Yuan said with some solemnity. To the Supreme Being, what seemed a trivial favor was an unimaginable scenario for those below the ultimate. A year later, Xiaoyu Evolution Tower. Lin Yuan stood alongside numerous 10th rank evolvers and 11th rank evolvers. Every time a Supreme Being personally performed a resurrection, many higher rank evolvers would watch nearby. Such an event that involved the workings of the space-time rule and the rule of time had considerable stimulating effects for any evolver who comprehended these rules. Galaxy Master, this must be your first time seeing a Supreme Being perform a resurrection, right? Nalan, the Vice Tower Master, asked Lin Yuan in a low voice, standing beside him. Yes, Lin Yuan nodded. Based on the rate of evolver casualties on the battlefield of human civilization, it typically took between 10,000 to 50,000 years to accumulate enough for the resurrection list. This meant the Supreme Being would perform a resurrection once every 10,000 to 50,000 years. Then you better watch closely, Nalan the Vice Tower Master quickly said. The Supreme Being going against the flow will cause some manifestation of the River of Time. Watching carefully will benefit your comprehension of the rule of time. Understood, Lin Yuan immediately replied. In fact, not to mention a portion of the River of Time becoming apparent, Lin Yuan had even seen the entire scope of the River of Time before. Of course, he naturally would not share this with Nalan, the Vice Tower Master. Soon, under the gaze of all evolvers present, Xianxia Supreme Being's figure silently appeared. Although not emitting any aura, just by standing there, Lin Yuan felt the cosmic rulings of the cosmic starry sky making way. The Supreme Being possessed an inner universe, containing many complete rules, his life essence transcending the main cosmic starry sky. The Supreme Being, Lin Yuan was witnessing a Supreme Being's true body within the cosmos for the first time. Previously, although Lin Yuan had been taken out of the River of Time by the Supreme Being, at that time, he was merely a strand of spirit will. It's beginning, Nalan the Vice Tower Master suddenly said in a low voice. He had experienced many of the Supreme Being's resurrection scenes and knew much about it. As soon as Nalan, the Vice Tower Master's words fell, intense space-time fluctuations surged forward. A spectacular imaginary long river manifested in front of Xianxia Supreme Being. Lin Yuan also felt tremendous fluctuations of the rule of time, though not as intense as the time he had surveyed the entire side of the River of Time. Ch novel, F.ir. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. But still far stronger than normal studies of the rule of time. Meanwhile, Xianxia Supreme Being continued to traverse upstream along the River of Time, arriving at specific temporal nodes and then extending his vast hands, scooping out amber-like figures from the ephemeral river. With each extension of his hands, thousands of amber-like figures were scooped out, while at the same time, the invisible backlash from the universe and the River of Time began to descend on Xianxia Supreme Being, but he blocked them all. Unless resurrecting a large number of 11th rank powerhouses or particularly exceptional beings among the 11th rank powerhouses, such backlash was unlikely to affect the Supreme Being. The River of Time. Besides the ultimate beings, all things, all spirits, exist within the River of Time, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Although life below 12th rank resided within the River of Time, depending on the strength and status of the life forms, their size within the River of Time also varied. When Lin Yuan initially comprehended the rule of time as a 9th rank evolver, his form within the River of Time was as minute as a meson. But now I have been at 10th rank for some time. I wonder to what extent my form in the River of Time has reached? With this thought, Lin Yuan began to feel the true River of Time and his own form deep within it. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 702 50 Years, Subscription Requested. The River of Time flowed magnificently. From the distant past, it flowed toward the endless future. In the River of Time, 10th rank beings barely counted as small fish and shrimp. They were only slightly better than intermediates. Beings of the 11th rank could be considered big fish. Some especially unique existences within the 11th rank exhibited forms in the River of Time that could be described as colossal, covering a substantial part of the riverbed. Am I also considered a big fish now? Lin Yuan examined himself, though he was only a 10th rank life. But his foundation was so robust that, reflected within the River of Time, he was fully comparable to those 11th rank lives. I wonder what my size will be like in the River of Time when I step into the 11th rank, or even the peak of the 11th rank? Lin Yuan silently pondered. The forms of all beings reflected in the river depended solely on the essence of life. They were unaffected by external forces. While Lin Yuan was feeling the intense fluctuations of the rule of time and examining himself, the Xianxia Supreme Being had already fished out all the evolvers on the resurrection list. These evolvers, upon returning to the present spacetime, immediately started synchronizing their memories, stopping right before their deaths. The River of Time was vast and endless. Even a mere tributary contained countless lives. Thus, for a Supreme Being to resurrect a certain strong being, It was essential to lock onto their life brand, which would act as a guiding mark. Without a life brand serving as a guiding mark, even a supreme being could not locate the life they wished to resurrect precisely within the vast river of time. Supreme beings may step out of the river of time, but that doesn't mean they control it. Where is this? Have I been resurrected? I remember fighting fiercely with a warrior from the prison tribe in the A076 battlefield and then suddenly dying. Countless evolvers who were fished out showed confusion in their eyes at first, followed by a swift realization. In human civilization, the fact that supreme beings had resurrection capabilities was no secret, especially among evolvers who were resurrected, who generally knew the possibility of their resurrection by a supreme being. Once the Xianxia supreme being completed the resurrection tasks on the list, he glanced at the multitude of resurrected evolvers and then disappeared. Soon after, evolvers from the Xianxia Evolution Tower stepped forward to guide these recently resurrected evolvers. A significant portion of the evolvers had died tens of thousands of years ago. They were unfamiliar with the current era and needed time to acclimate. I've been resurrected too. The resurrected evolvers were divided into different circles based on their strength. 6th rank evolvers had their circle, 7th rank evolvers theirs, 8th rank evolvers theirs, and 9th rank evolvers theirs. As a freshly promoted 6th rank evolver, Feng Qing naturally found himself within the circle of 6th rank evolvers. Around him were other 6th rank evolvers who had been resurrected like him. I am an evolver of the ancient god evolution path. Logically, I shouldn't have been eligible for resurrection, Feng Qing pondered inwardly. Many of the other 6th rank evolvers around him were also familiar, all being geniuses who excelled across star domains. And himself? Although he had reached the 6th rank in a mere few hundred years, he had taken the ancient god's evolution path, which was essentially a shortcut. Compared to other normal evolution paths, the ancient god evolution path had no particular requirements for talent or understanding, but only required one to be sufficiently similar to the corresponding ancient god. Human civilization didn't allocate substantial resources to evolvers on the ancient god evolution path, let alone include them in the resurrection slots. Thus, Feng Qing was perplexed as to why he had been resurrected. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared beside him. Star Lord. Feng Qing looked up, his spirit lifted, and respectfully spoke. Correct. How does it feel to be resurrected? Lin Yuan turned toward Feng Qing and asked. I don't know, I just felt like I was in a long dream, Feng Qing answered truthfully. Star Lord, was I resurrected because? Feng Qing couldn't help but ask. I pleaded with the Supreme Being to put you on the resurrection list, Lin Yuan replied. The resurrection list isn't supposed to be modifiable. Feng Qing was secretly shocked. As far as he knew, each life on the resurrection list had been repeatedly judged by 3 goddesses. Finally, they were handed over to the Supreme Being for resurrection. During this period, no one was able to alter the judgment of the 3 goddesses, which was considered an iron law of human civilization. But Lin Yuan had forcefully added him to the resurrection list? Feng Qing didn't know that Lin Yuan had added him to the resurrection list without going through the 3 goddesses at all. Instead, he went directly to Xianxia, the supreme being who led the resurrection. For him, resurrecting an additional 6th rank evolver was nothing more than a mere thought. It couldn't be simpler. Thank you, Star-Lord. Feng Qing took a deep breath. Although he didn't know by what means Lin Yuan had managed to get him on the resurrection list, it must have come at a great price, and his life was essentially given by Lin Yuan. No need to thank me now. Next, I will take action to cleanse the original traces of your physical Bodhis evolution path. Lin Yuan waved his hand. Although Feng Qing had been resurrected, he still cultivated the ancient god evolution path. As long as Tuoba ancient god wished, he could still take away Feng Qing's spirit will at any time. What Lin Yuan intended to do was to completely erase the numerous traces of Feng Qing's cultivation of the ancient god evolution path. Only by doing so could he completely sever the connection with Tuoba ancient god. Please proceed, Star-Lord, Feng Qing said, showing no resistance. In his last memory, the evolution path he was cultivating had suddenly erupted, dragging his spirit will into an unknown region. Looking back, it must have been the influence of the ancient god evolution path. Swish. Under Lin Yuan's intervention, the traces of ancient god evolutionary path cultivation on Feng Qing's body were quickly erased. This was also because Feng Qing had just entered the 6th rank, and Lin Yuan, with his powerful strength, comparable to the usual 11th rank evolvers, could easily dispel the influence of the ancient god evolution path. CTH Novelfire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. In the depths of the cosmic starry skies, Tuoba Ancient God's thoughts stirred as he looked in the direction of human civilization. The friend of the Galaxy Master has been resurrected? Tuoba Ancient God thought silently. Just a moment ago, Tuoba Ancient God had sensed the vital essence of that friend of the Galaxy Master. However, almost immediately, that vital essence disappeared, likely due to the erasure of the Ancient God evolutionary path he was cultivating. Tuoba Ancient God was not surprised by this at all. And he had no intention of interfering either. One reason was that it was very difficult to take action again in such a short span of time. Moreover, the human civilization's supreme being who had just resurrected the friend of the Galaxy Master was probably nearby. Even if he wanted to act, he could not evade the gaze of a supreme being. Secondly, it was meaningless. After experiencing the Galaxy Master directly cursing the spirit will of his friend, Tuoba Ancient God realized that the Galaxy Master would not face any threats. What could he do if he obtained Feng Qing's spirit will again? It would only cause the Galaxy Master to curse again. If the cursing failed, the Galaxy Master would not submit, only causing the enmity of human civilization towards him to deepen further. The insect race has invited me to battlefield A098? Tuoba Ancient God frowned slightly. As a unique life at the peak of the 11th tier, he often received invitations from alliances of peak clans to go and support them on a large alien battlefield. But generally, Tuoba Ancient God would refuse such invitations. He was too lazy to meddle in the affairs between those peak clans. But now, having assured that he had offended the Galaxy Master, Tuoba Ancient God began to prioritize his relations with other peak clans. Especially the insect race, humanity's sworn enemy. Being an enemy to human civilization himself, if he did not accommodate the insect race, his options for retreat in the future would become very limited. Fine. I'll go this time. Tuoba Ancient God had made up his mind. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Rule of death. Rule of destruction. Great destruction rule. Lin Yuan had fused the rule of death and the rule of destruction, two pillar-level rules, to form the Great Destruction rule. The Great Destruction rule, a purely offensive rule, was even purer than the life and death samsara rule. It was also one of the powerhouse pillar-level fusion rules that could surpass the life and death samsara rule in killing power. Since breaking through to the 10th tier, Lin Yuan, besides contemplating the life and death samsara rule, had also been contemplating the fusion of other pillar-level rules. Now, the Great Destruction rule was the result. Great Destruction rule. One of the 12 Great Gates on the Black Planet corresponds to the Great Destruction rule. Moved by this thought, the Taiyin primordial spirit of Lin Yuan immediately departed and descended onto the Black Planet. Great Destruction. Lin Yuan stood in front of the gate that symbolized the Great Destruction rule. He then channeled the essence of the Great Destruction rule and pushed open the gate, walking inside. Suddenly, he arrived at an altar similar to the path of the life and death samsara rule. It's you again? A surge of black mist emerged, forming into a man in a black robe. He glanced at Lin Yuan and shook his head slightly. Senior. Lin Yuan immediately greeted the man in the black robe. When will the test commence? Lin Yuan went straight to the point, not wanting to waste time. Test. The man in the black robe fell silent. He could sense that Lin Yuan had probably just realized the Great Destruction rule not long ago. But with the scene of the life and death samsara rule test before, the man in the black robe knew that the tests set by the Black Planet were basically non-existent in Lin Yuan's presence. Forget it. You better go in. The man in the black robe didn't want to waste time either, raising his right hand and creating a black portal about 5 meters large. Instead of making Lin Yuan struggle again, shaking the interior of the Black Planet, it was better to let him go in quickly to meditate. Out of sight, out of mind. Thank you, Senior. Lin Yuan saw this and did not decline. He immediately conjured an incarnation and stepped into the black portal. It was a space only a few miles in area. However, it was filled with an endless aura of the Great Destruction rule. Great Destruction. Lin Yuan carefully observed the fluctuations of the Great Destruction rule. Under the empowerments of his against heaven's understanding, terrifying inspirations and spiritual lights continuously surged up to him. Just like that. Lin Yuan's two great incarnations rapidly comprehended the life and death samsara rule and the Great Destruction rule. His original body and the Taiyang Divine Spirit and Taiyin Primordial Spirit were contemplating and cultivating other rules, secret techniques, and so on. 50 years passed in the blink of an eye. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 703, The First Type of Second Realm Fusion Rules. Please subscribe. Black Planet. Life and Death Samsara Rule Guiding Space. The cycle of life and death rules seemed endless, as if without a conclusion. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, immersed in the comprehension, in comparison to directly fathoming the cosmic life and death rules. At this moment, the life and death rules continually intertwined and fused before him, giving Lin Yuan the impression of watching a standard answer. Every moment, his understanding of the life and death samsara rule was improving. The life rule, filled with endless vitality, and the death rule, permeated with boundless death energy, their fusion creates the life and death samsara rule, which essentially emphasizes the concept of reincarnation. Lin Yuan lifted his right hand, and the same life and death rules intertwined and fused in his palm. Therefore, the life and death samsara rule needs to construct a stable cycle model, so that the life and death rules can freely transform and interweave. Lin Yuan attempted to analyze the life and death samsara rule using the human civilization rule model approach. Even the most basic 5 elements rule is interpreted differently by thousands of people. The fusion rules are even more so, with the slightest discrepancy between the 2 rules involved causing divergence in the final formed fusion rule. A stable, perfect cycle model. In front of Lin Yuan, the life and death rules kept altering, eventually forming an infrastructure resembling a dark vortex, subtly starting to influence time and space. Unaffected, Lin Yuan continued to delve deeper into his comprehension. Your comprehension is extraordinary, observing the fusion of life and death, and deriving the first stable cycle model. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, a thunderous noise in his mind, as the life and death samsara rule advanced to the second realm. Finally cultivated this fusion rule to the second realm. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The comprehension of the fusion rules was much harder than imagined, especially the transition from the first to the second realm. Who knows how many 10th rank grade A individuals dragged on to the life limit of 10th rank life without crossing the threshold. The previous Nalan, the Black Star Lord, and Master Lustrous were all like this. Although the latter is said to have a chance to step into the 11th rank, it is just a possibility, and it's more likely they won't cross it. Even Lin Yuan, upon initially comprehending the life and death samsara rule and feeling the vast breadth of life and death, thought it would take him 500 to 600 years to cultivate this fusion rule to the second realm. But now, merely 50 years had passed, and he had already cultivated it to the second realm. Theoretically, Lin Yuan can now use the second realm's life and death samsara rule to break through to the tier 11 level. The life and death samsara rule. At the level of the second realm, combined with the foundation of my physical soul's inner world, spirit will, mysterious yellow strike, among others, the ultimate power burst forth might reach the peak of the third realm, or even approach the power of the fourth realm's life and death samsara rule? Lin Yuan wondered to himself. When he initially grasped the life and death samsara rule, Lin Yuan, with the support of his many foundations, forcibly enhanced the samsara rule from the primary stage of the first realm to the second realm and even touched the threshold of the third realm. Now, with his understanding of the life and death samsara rule reaching the second realm, Lin Yuan felt his standard maximum attack should be close to the fourth realm. It should be known that the pillar-level fusion rules of the fourth realm, even among 11th rank life forms, are considered quite powerful. Theoretically, the fusion rules of the 7th and 8th realms are the domain of the supreme beings. Of course, the abilities of 11th rank life are far from limited to the fusion rules. However, this at least indicates that in one aspect, Lin Yuan has reached the normal standard of 11th rank life. He was no longer awkwardly at the threshold. The second realm's life and death samsara rule. Lin Yuan operated the already established cycle model, attempting to affect the surrounding balance of life and death. Boom! Within the guiding space, massive life and death rules continuously intertwined and coiled, and the shadow of a stable colossal cycle model began to emerge. Sar the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. However, under the influence of Lin Yuan's constructed minor cycle model, a trivial part of the guiding space's major cycle model began to show faint turbulences. But they quickly returned to normal. Lin Yuan wasn't surprised by this. Inside the guiding space, the life and death samsara rule large model symbolizes the fourth realm's samsara rule. He was currently only at the second realm, so it was naturally difficult to cause an impact. His attempt was merely to gauge how far he was from the fourth realm. Outside the guiding space, the black-robed man's figure suddenly appeared. The balance of life and death within the space is being affected by an external force? The black-robed man's expression changed slightly. As the spirit of the altar and the spirit of the black planet, he was acutely aware of all the changes inside the guiding space. The balance of life and death within the life and death samsara rule guiding space can only be affected by those who also wield life and death samsara rules. Has that young fellow cultivated his life and death samsara rule to the second realm? The black-robed man immediately surmised the cause. Second realm. How long has it been? The black-robed man was dumbfounded. He didn't consider the second realm's life and death samsara rule that impressive, as it was just the threshold standard for 11th rank life. Yet what shocked the black-robed man was that 50 years ago, Lin Yuan's understanding of the life and death samsara rule was only at an introductory level. And now only 50 years had passed and it had soared to the second realm? There has been no change in the flow of time. The black-robed man confirmed that Lin Yuan's comprehension time did not deviate from the main time flow. With only the guiding space, there couldn't possibly be such a significant effect. The black-robed man's expression grew serious. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 704 The First Type of Second Realm Fusion Rules. Subscribe please. Understood to the essence of the life and death samsara rule within the guiding space manifested, making it slightly easier for the later generations to comprehend this type of fusion rules. Some bottlenecks that had trapped evolvers for 10,000 years could now be broken in 7 to 8,000 years. CTH Novelfire, net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. It just became a bit easier. Not that the difficulty was directly reduced to zero. Even so, such guiding spaces made countless 10th rank lives fervent. At critical moments, being slightly easier constitutes a qualitative difference, not to mention a bit easier. For instance, discerning the pillar-level fusion rules of the second realm just a bit earlier could allow one to break through to 11th rank before their lifespan limit. This was not only the gap between 11th rank and 10th rank but also the difference between life and death. However, at this moment, Lin Yuan's performance caused the man in the black robe a bit of confusion. Because over the past 50 years, Lin Yuan had steadily understood other pillar-level fusion rules, sending out incarnations to comprehend them within the guiding spaces of other doors. That is to say, over a span of 50 years, the time Lin Yuan actually spent on the life and death samsara rule was, arguably, only a portion. Do the lives outside nowadays all disregard reason to such an extent? The man in the black robe stayed silent for a long time, suddenly harboring this thought in his mind. His memory was significantly lacking, but he vaguely remembered that Lin Yuan's speed of comprehension was exaggeratedly terrifying. Milky Way main star. I can now attempt to strive for tier 11. Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. The biggest threshold from 10th rank to 11th rank is to elevate a pillar-level rule to the second realm. In addition, there are other requirements regarding the physical soul, inner world, and so on, but with Lin Yuan's accumulated foundation, naturally all are satisfied. That is to say, if Lin Yuan wished to strive for 11th rank, he could step into the 11th rank. From just entering 10th rank to stepping into 11th rank, it only took 50 years. If this were to be spread, it would definitely drive a group of 10th rank lives insane, and even 11th rank lives would hardly believe it. The leap from 10th rank to 11th rank is a cross of a great realm, a leap in the essence of life. There exist 10th rank lives who have stayed at this realm for millions of years or even tens of millions of years. And you use just 50 years? Still, there's no rush. I currently only occupy 6 out of the 12 guiding spaces in the depths of the 12 gates on the dark planet. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, suppressing the urge to break through to 11th rank. The main reason is that there's no significant benefit. Currently, Lin Yuan is under no pressure. Human civilization is exceedingly strong, and he can certainly break through to 11th rank a bit later. Because once he breaks through to 11th rank, he won't be able to enter the remaining 6 gates on the dark planet. The Dark Life planet is a star of 10th rank heritage, allowing only 10th rank lives to enter. Neither 9th rank nor 11th rank may go in. Therefore, the most correct action for Lin Yuan is to discern all the fusion rules corresponding to the 12 gates on the Dark Planet and then send out incarnations into the guiding spaces. He should secure the slots for enlightenment first. As long as the incarnations occupy the guiding spaces, even if Lin Yuan breaks through to 11th rank, he won't be expelled. And at 10th rank, the more fusion rules one comprehends and the higher the level of cultivation of the fusion rules, the greater the benefit to oneself. From any perspective, there's no reason for Lin Yuan to rush into 11th rank desperately. Other peak 10th rank powerhouses, after elevating a pillar-level fusion rule to the second realm, would hesitate no more to strive for 11th rank. It's because their potential at 10th rank is already exhausted, and there's no point in delaying any longer. But Lin Yuan is different. He still has plenty of room for improvement. In 50 years, apart from the life and death samsara rule and the Great Destruction rule, I've also comprehended 4 other pillar-level rules, which correspond to the pillar-level rules of those 12 gates on the Dark Planet. Lin Yuan thought to himself, the pillar-level fusion rules are far more than just 12. However, knowing the effects of the guiding spaces behind the 12 gates of the Dark Planet, Lin Yuan naturally focused on those 12 pillar-level rules in his comprehension of the pillar-level fusion rules. The 6 pillar-level fusion rules I've discerned so far are the relatively simple ones, involving the fusion between 2 pillar rules. The remaining 6 pillar-level fusion rules are much more difficult, encompassing the fusion of 3, 4, or even 5 pillar rules. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Even within pillar-level fusion rules, there naturally exists a hierarchy. Leaving aside the inherent attributes of the pillar rules themselves, just the number of pillar rules involved in the fusion also absolutely determines the height of the final fusion rule. Incorporating space, life, and destruction as 3 pillar-level fusion rules naturally makes it stronger than just space and life pillar-level fusion rules. Take it slowly. I have plenty of time, Lin Yuan thought to himself. 10th rank evolvers can easily live for hundreds of millions of years. He's hardly at that point yet. To fuse the time rule with the space rules, both being pillar-level fusion rules, Lin Yuan thought about his own attempts in the domain of space-time over the years. Though the rule of time is also a pillar-level rule, it reigns supreme over other pillar-level rules, aiming to fuse space-time? Up to now, Lin Yuan's progress in this area can be said to be slow. With the might of the rule of time, even fusing it with an ordinary rule would be much stronger than usual pillar-level fusion rules. Fusing space-time and then elevating the space-time rule to the 5th realm, that is one of the thresholds for 11th rank powerhouses to strive for the ultimate. Lin Yuan's thoughts spread out. At his level, he was privy to information that was once incredibly secret, including intelligence on the 11th rank strive for the ultimate. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 705 The First Type of Second Realm Fusion Rules. Subscribe please. Underscore 3 The most crucial aspect of ultimate beings is to break free from the shackles of the river of time, which requires control over time and space. Of course, the more chaos rules one integrates, the greater the benefits, and understanding the legendary chaos rules could greatly benefit the pursuit of becoming an ultimate being. This chaos crystal. Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly as he took out a gray crystal, in which numerous rules' essences were fused and scattered. If it were 10 times, 100 times larger, it might help me more than the Black Planet. The chaos crystal was too small, and the depth of the rules it contained was not profound. Of course, if the chaos crystal were 10 times, 100 times larger, Lin Yuan wouldn't have acquired it. In the 9 floors Dark Tower of Demon Jade Space, the chaos crystal was considered a 12-star rare treasure, and if it were 10 times, 100 times larger, it would definitely be categorized as a 12-star supreme treasure. Search *the novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Battlefield A098. The Taiyang divine spirit sat cross-legged beneath that eternal spatial rift that spanned thousands of miles. Lately, the insect race has been quite restless, inviting several Tier 11 special beings to join, probably to intensify the war. Though Lin Yuan had never left the area under that eternal spatial rift, his true body was very concerned about the intelligence on this large alien battlefield. After all, so far, he was quite satisfied with the rate at which he accumulated world-breaking origin force on this battlefield. If there were no other compelling reasons, Lin Yuan naturally would not be willing to leave. I now have nearly 500 strands of world-breaking origin force, most of which I've amassed here. Lin Yuan felt good. Nearly 500 strands of world-breaking origin force gave him a sense of wealth he had never felt before. I hope the increase in war intensity is not too great. Lin Yuan pondered for a while. The historical battles with the highest intensity of war had nearly devastated the large battlefields, with supreme beings themselves entering the fray. If it really came to that, Lin Yuan naturally would not have the time to peacefully accumulate world-breaking origin force here. Just 50 years ago, how did the supreme beings handle that aurora from beyond the universe? Lin Yuan suddenly thought. The power of that aurora reached an incredible level, effortlessly shattering a large alien battlefield. If it were not for the joint efforts of numerous ultimate beings, the impacts would have been even greater. The greater the power of the aurora, the more precious it proves to be, and for the supreme beings to intercept it was certainly a significant gain. Did the supreme beings create the eternal spatial rift and not repair it, perhaps for such a time? Lin Yuan looked contemplative. The eternal spatial rift contained extreme destructive power, which the main universe couldn't heal by its own regeneration capabilities. But if the supreme beings were willing, they could actively eradicate the destructive power within the eternal spatial rift. Once the power of destruction was gone, with the powerful healing abilities of the main universe, the rift could easily be repaired. Milky Way main star. After resting for a while, Lin Yuan resumed his cultivation. Great destruction rule. Wisps of destructive essence appeared in front of Lin Yuan, and in terms of pure killing power, the Great Destruction rule surpassed even the life and death samsara rule. Of the 6-pillar level fusion rules Lin Yuan currently controlled, the life and death samsara rule was the highest realm, having reached the second realm. The Great Destruction rule was next, only a hair away from the second realm. Lin Yuan estimated that, whether sooner in a few days or later in a few months, he could elevate this fusion rule to the second realm. At that time, Lin Yuan would have 2 fusion rules at the second realm, which would significantly enhance his combat power. Great Destruction rule. In the Great Destruction rule guiding space of the Black Planet, Lin Yuan immersed himself in understanding the essence of the Great Destruction rule. Simultaneously, while contemplating the Great Destruction rule, Lin Yuan was also studying other fusion rules, borrowing insights from each, stimulating mutual understanding. Deep within the cosmic starry sky, in a twisted area of space-time, more than a dozen majestic figures stood around, and in their center, 100-mile-long, dazzling aurora quietly floated. This aurora, a rare 12-rank material, can be used as the main ingredient to forge an ultimate weapon. How shall we divide it now? A figure with a single horn on his forehead spoke. All present were supreme beings. 50 years ago, more than 10 supreme beings joined forces to intercept that aurora from beyond the universe. After 50 years of suppression, they finally removed the alien essence from the aurora. And now, it was time to divide this aurora. Actually, each supreme being at the scene wanted to monopolize this aurora. But doing so would inevitably provoke the other supreme beings to act. Under such circumstances, the more than 10 supreme beings who were wary of each other eventually proposed the relatively peaceful idea of dividing the aurora. There was no choice. At the level of supreme beings, there was no need to fight to the death over an external object. This aurora was indeed precious, classified as a supreme item among 12-rank materials, but before it was crafted into an ultimate weapon, it hardly enhanced the combat power of the supreme being's level. Battlefield A076 is one of the main battlefields of our human civilization, and it was pierced by this aurora, causing severe casualties among our evolvers. So, among the dozen evolvers, human civilization's ancient power evolver spoke authoritatively. We humans require 1/5 of this aurora. 1/5. The other supreme beings looked displeased. Among the more than 10 supreme beings, 1/10 each wasn't enough, yet you take 1/5? Ancient power. Isn't that too much? The first speaker, the single-horned supreme being, spoke. Too much. How do you account for the heavy losses suffered by our young humans? They are the elite of our human civilization, our future. The eyes of the ancient power supreme being narrowed. Without 1/5, I cannot persuade my people. No sooner had he finished speaking than another 8 supreme-level presences forcefully broke through the spatial barriers and aggressively entered the scene. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 706 That White Paper. Please subscribe. How is it? Our human civilization only wants 1/5 of the aurora. That's not excessive. The ancient power supreme being spoke in a calm tone, yet within this twisted space-time, the breaths of 8 other supreme beings were unmistakably unmasked. The other 10 or more supreme beings glanced at each other. There were also ultimate beings standing behind them, but the combat power of the 9 supreme beings of human civilization was indeed difficult to deal with. Very well. The one-horned supreme being eventually compromised. There was no choice. If they didn't first satiate human civilization, the subsequent division would be impossible to complete. Search. The ancient power supreme being raised his hand and took 1/5 of the aurora. He then vanished from this space-time. As soon as the ancient power supreme being left, the breaths of the 8 human civilization supreme beings also rapidly receded. My Tianyu clan has also suffered heavy losses. Began the clan Tianyu progenitor slowly, wanting to replicate the recent actions of human civilization and take a portion of the aurora first. Human civilization territory. The 9 supreme beings were rapidly exchanging thoughts through their spirit wills. Within this aurora segment, there is a profound presence of the causal curse killing power. Before it's refined into the ultimate weapon, it could be utilized to let those talented evolvers comprehend it for a while. Indeed, the causal rules, though not pillar-level rules, are the most mysterious and special. The more one comprehends the causal rules, the better, with no downsides. Then I will refine this segment of aurora first. The 9 supreme beings quickly determined the use for the aurora. It would be refined into the ultimate weapon. But before refining, they could allow some talented successors of human civilization to closely sense the essence of the aurora. Xianxia Supreme Being's personal world. Xianxia Supreme Being sat high on the throne, seemingly deep in thought. Not much later, the figure of Lin Yuan appeared. Supreme Being. Lin Yuan bowed slightly. The more he cultivated, the more Lin Yuan felt the greatness of the supreme beings. This greatness wasn't limited to strength. Their life essence, their heights, were beyond what any life within the river of time could look up to. Xianxia Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan and a smile appeared on his face. How has your cultivation been lately? Have you encountered any bottlenecks? Xianxia Supreme Being was very concerned about Lin Yuan, as in his eyes, Lin Yuan was the evolver most likely to reach the ultimate in this era of human civilization. If human civilization could birth the 10th Supreme Being, the pressure they bore would naturally lessen considerably. It's going well. Lin Yuan nodded. More than just well. 50 years ago, Lin Yuan had only comprehended 2 pillar-level fusion rules. But now, Lin Yuan mastered up to 6 pillar-level fusion rules, among which the life and death samsara rule had even reached the 2nd realm, and the Great Destruction rule was also nearing the 2nd realm. Achievements unattainable by typical 10th rank evolvers over millions of years, Lin Yuan had achieved in just 50 years. Not to mention, beyond the fusion rules, Lin Yuan had made significant progress on space rules, the rule of time, and the profound yellow lineage's 3 Dao protecting secret techniques. Good to hear. Xianxia Supreme Being did not probe further. The path of evolution is a very private matter. With Lin Yuan's talents and aptitudes, he had already forged his own path. If he intervened forcefully, it wouldn't be beneficial. What Xianxia Supreme Being could do now was to resolve all of Lin Yuan's potential worries as much as possible. In some time, there will be an opportunity to comprehend that segment of aurora essence. I will let you go, Xianxia Supreme Being said directly. The essence of the aurora? Is it the aurora from the destruction of the large alien battlefield marked A076? Lin Yuan's eyes brightened, and he immediately asked. Exactly, Xianxia Supreme Being nodded. There was no need to keep secrets about this matter. After negotiations with those different species supreme beings, our human civilization finally got 1/5 of the entire aurora, Xianxia Supreme Being briefly explained. Negotiations. 1/5. Lin Yuan blinked. Among peak clans, power was always supreme. Negotiations? What negotiation? And 1/5? According to Lin Yuan's knowledge, there were more than 10 supreme beings involved in blocking the aurora initially. That doesn't yet count those who later wished to share in the spoils. Directly taking 1/5 for human civilization was utterly domineering. Supreme Being, where did this aurora come from? Lin Yuan asked. He knew that the aurora originated from beyond the eternal spatial rift, that is, within the chaos void. But exactly where, and why such an entity as the aurora would form, Lin Yuan was not very clear. This aurora, it likely comes from the Taiyuan relic, Xianxia Supreme Being pondered for a moment before speaking. The Taiyuan relic? Lin Yuan was slightly stunned. Yes, currently within the detected scope of the chaos void, the Taiyuan relic is ranked among the 9 most dangerous places, Xianxia Supreme Being said. Lin Yuan listened obediently. Saw the novel, At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The matters Xianxia Supreme Being spoke of, clearly, were no longer confined to within the universe. Is the Taiyuan relic very dangerous? Lin Yuan noticed that the Xianxia Supreme Being described the Taiyuan relic as a perilous place. Naturally, it's extremely dangerous, the Xianxia Supreme Being nodded. Even for a 12th rank life, a moment of carelessness can lead to complete ruin within the Taiyuan relic, the Xianxia Supreme Being explained. Moreover, the dangers of the Taiyuan relic are not limited to within the relic itself, but occasionally also involve the forbidden items that erupt from its depths. These forbidden items vary in influence, some strong and some weak, immeasurable in their impact. In the universe, a 12th rank life is invincible, at most severely wounded, the Xianxia Supreme Being said with a sigh, but outside the universe, in the chaos void, even a 12th rank life can face death. Lin Yuan nodded. A couple of hundred years ago, that corpse of a supreme being that drifted in from beyond the universe made Lin Yuan realize that even supreme beings can die. A supreme being merely steps out of the river of time and is not bound by lifespan, but that does not mean they cannot die. Of course, the chaos void is dangerous, but it also holds opportunities. We, as 12th rank, wish to evolve further, to transform into a perfect time being. Such a chance exists only in the chaos void, albeit very slight, the Xianxia Supreme Being continued. Perfect time being? Lin Yuan's thoughts expanded. A 9th rank life is also known as a multispatial life. From a 9th to 11th rank, every step involves the evolution of multispatial life towards temporal life. Until reaching the 12th rank. A 12th rank ultimate is already barely considered a half-formed temporal life. They occupy the past and present, meandering on the shores of the river of time. Yet, even ultimate existences still aspire, and that is to transform into a perfect temporal life. Simply put, the goal of a 12th rank ultimate is to attempt to occupy the future. Only a life that occupies the past, present, and future simultaneously qualifies as a perfect time being. It is said that a perfect time being can see the infinite future at a glance and return to the ancient past. Theoretically, as long as a perfect time being so wishes, they could alter the course of history and shape the future into the vision they desire. However, thus far, Lin Yuan has not heard of any existing perfect time being. Even Shen Huang and the Moyu Tower Master do not qualify as perfect time beings. They are merely significantly stronger than most 12th rank ultimates. The Chaos Void holds great opportunities, but sadly we, creatures of the universe, even at 12th rank, cannot leave, the Xianxia Supreme Being said, seemingly recalling something and sighed. Unable to leave? Lin Yuan looked puzzled. The eternal spatial rift is right there. Why can't they leave? The universe has a will, and beings like us at the 12th rank, who have absorbed so much cosmic energy, would inevitably face the universes while fighting fiercely to prevent us from escaping to the chaos void, once we break free from the universe, the Xianxia Supreme Being explained. I see. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. Thus, if we wish to venture into the chaos void, we can only wait until this cosmic era ends and everything is destroyed. Only then might there be a chance. The Xianxia Supreme Being's voice wavered subtly. Obviously. The matter was not as simple as he had stated. The end of the cosmic era, the collapse of everything, Supreme Beings only survive if they endure past it, fully freeing themselves from cosmic restrictions. If they do not endure, they naturally perish with the cosmos. However, after the destruction of the universe, there will be rebirth, a capability Supreme Beings do not possess. A Supreme Being, along with the universe, ends, and all their essence transforms into the most chaotic energy to support the birth of a new cosmic era. Typically, among 10 12th rank ultimates, at most only half can survive the end of a cosmic epoch. Only those 12th rank ultimates who endure the end of a cosmic epoch have the confidence to venture into the chaos void. Upon leaving Xianxia Supreme Being's personal world, Lin Yuan's mind slightly fluctuated. This time, from the mouth of Xianxia's Supreme Being, he learned much higher-level information, such as the 9 dangerous places of the Chaos Void, and the restrictions on Supreme Beings within the universe. All this is still too far from me. Lin Yuan pondered for a while, then stopped thinking about it. He's currently only 10th rank, far from reaching 12th rank. And the end of the cosmic epoch? According to Xianxia's Supreme Being's estimation, from the birth of the universe to now, only 1/10 of a cosmic epoch has passed. That means, until the end of the cosmic epoch, there are still 9/10 of a cosmic epoch remaining, which in years, is countless quintillions. Lin Yuan thus far, has spent less than 200 years in the main universe. Meanwhile, outside the universe where Lin Yuan resided, amidst the grayish chaos void, a piece of white paper was rapidly moving in a certain direction. If one observed carefully, they would realize that this white paper seemed not to possess the concept of thickness, having only length and width. Within the white paper, fog swirled, subtly encompassing a vast world. This entire piece of white paper, akin to a scroll of painting, was graceful yet mysterious. Yet what was strange, wherever the white paper passed, the space of the chaos void subtly began to collapse, rapidly losing the concept of spatial thickness, and even time became abnormally narrow, as if it suddenly reduced from 3 dimensions to 2. Swoosh! In a blink of an eye, that white paper disappeared into the dense chaotic currents. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 707 Dimensionality Reduction. Please subscribe. Great Destruction Rule Second Realm, achieved. Shortly after parting with the Xianxia Supreme Being, Lin Yuan had comprehended the Great Destruction Rule to the Second Realm. Any 10th rank grade A powerhouse would be extremely thrilled once they realized a pillar grade fusion rules dual realm, wouldn't they? This meant that they could step into Tier 11. In the 10,000 races of the cosmic starry sky, 11th rank life was the strongest below Supreme Beings. The strongest here refers to all aspects, not merely strength. For instance, mastering the rule of time? It's too tall in order for 10th rank life to fully understand the rule of time. It's an occurrence that hasn't happened too many times since the universe began. But for 11th rank life wanting to master the rule of time, although still very difficult, it is at least much easier than for 10th rank life. Once the rule of time is mastered, it means a significant extension of lifespan. By slowing down their own passage of time, 1 year for an 11th rank life could equal thousands or even tens of thousands of years for a 10th rank life. However, none of this had much significance for Lin Yuan. Rule of time? Lin Yuan had already mastered it at the 9th rank. And even without mastering it, Lin Yuan didn't care much about his own lifespan. How old was he now? The longevity that those ancient 11th rank lives yearned for, Lin Yuan now had in abundance. As for cultivating the Great Destruction Rule to the Second Realm, in truth, gaining an additional Second Realm fusion rule did not enhance Lin Yuan's strength as much as one might imagine. After all, Lin Yuan's current benchmark was against 11th rank powerhouses. With his current foundation and techniques, even without realizing any dual realm fusion rules, he could still be considered invincible at the 10th rank. And within the 11th rank, realizing 1 pillar grade fusion rules dual realm was just a slight breakthrough. Next, the remaining 4 pillar grade fusion rules will also be cultivated to the Second Realm. Lin Yuan thought to himself. And the Third Realm? Lin Yuan pondered. The most hopeful rule for advancing to the Third Realm was the life and death samsara rule. However, even with the Black Planet's guiding space to study, Lin Yuan estimated that reaching the Third Realm would take him between 100 to 200 years. As for the Fourth Realm? Not yet at the Third Realm, Lin Yuan didn't know the extent to which he would have to go to reach the Fourth Realm, but it would not take more than 500 years at most. To cultivate from the First Realm to the Fourth Realm, spending a little over 700 years is still acceptable, Lin Yuan mused, nodding slightly to himself. 700 years is a blink of an eye to a 10th rank evolver, but Lin Yuan could use that time to cultivate a pillar grade fusion rule to the Fourth Realm. Lin Yuan was quite satisfied with that. Moreover, in those 700 years, Lin Yuan would have comprehended not just 1 but 6 pillar grade fusion rules. On top of that, new pillar grade fusion rules might be uncovered at any time, in addition to continual contemplation on the rules of time and space, among other things. Where do I stand in the hierarchy of 11th rank life with my current strength? Lin Yuan suddenly wondered. So far, the Starry Sky races had divided 11th rank life into 6 tiers. The first tier of 11th rank life had just entered tier 11. They had not yet mastered the rule of time. The second tier was 11th rank life that had mastered the rule of time. The third tier was those who had cultivated a certain pillar grade rule to the 5th realm. The fourth tier was those who had fused time and space to understand the space-time rule. The fifth tier was those who had elevated the space-time rule to the 5th realm. The sixth tier represented those who had reached the pinnacle in all aspects, and could attempt the ultimate breakthrough at any time. Theoretically, an 11th rank life at the 5th tier has the capability to strive for the ultimate, but the chances are slim, which is why there's a 6th tier. Even for 11th rank life at the 6th tier, the probability of successfully making the ultimate breakthrough is very low. To become ultimate, to break free from the shackles of the river of time, to have infinite longevity, involves many aspects. Throughout history, many peak 11th rank lives favored by all sides ultimately failed in their attempt and vanished from existence. Therefore, the various clans came to a conclusion. Striving for the ultimate requires a certain luck. Without luck, no amount of preparation or sufficient foundation will help. Roughly the second tier, Lin Yuan compared and concluded, positioning his current strength at the second tier within tier 11. Sir, the novel Unforgettable. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. An 11th rank life at the third tier would have already cultivated a certain pillar grade fusion rule to the 5th realm. A level Lin Yuan couldn't reach in the short term. If I could cultivate all 12 pillar grade fusion rules within the Black Planet to the 4th realm, I should be comparable to an 11th rank life at the 3rd tier. Lin Yuan thought to himself. 3rd tier 11th rank life requires at least 1 pillar grade fusion rule cultivated to the 5th realm. But 12 4th realm pillar grade fusion rules would incite a qualitative change from the quantitative build-up, especially considering that the next 6 pillar grade fusion rules are not your average pillar grade. They should be comparable to 1 5th realm pillar grade fusion rule. Of course, the gap between 10th rank life and 11th rank life is far more than just the comprehension of fusion rules. There are many other differences, such as the physical soul, spirit will, inner world and so on. Normally, 11th rank life would have one more infusion of the cosmic origin source than 10th rank life, a gap as wide as a chasm. But Lin Yuan's reception of the chaos void origin infusion greatly bridged this gap, allowing him the possibility to be comparable to 11th rank life. Virtual world. Lin Yuan was chatting leisurely with Nalan, the Vice Tower Master. Battlefield A098 is expected to see a marked increase in the intensity of the war. The Goddess of Freedom has already started the summoning, asking me to send an avatar there. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 708 Dimensionality Reduction. Subscribe please. _2 Nalan side. As an 11th rank evolver, each one of them was crucial, even on a large alien battlefield, where an 11th rank powerhouse was a suppressing force. As for a supreme being, unless they were truly provoked to wrath and other factors emerged, a supreme being would not enter the fray. Below the supreme beings, 11th rank was the strongest. Even for an evolver like Nalan who had just entered the 11th rank, they could influence the outcome of widespread regional wars. I've heard about this too, Lin Yuan nodded. In fact, Battlefield A098 was the very large alien battlefield where his Tai-Yong divine spirit resided. Some time ago, Lin Yuan had faintly sensed a change in the situation at the large alien battlefield and realized that a more intense war might be imminent. As long as the intensity of the war doesn't reach the level where a supreme being needs to step in, it shouldn't affect me much. On Battlefield A098, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged beneath an eternal spatial rift, using his understanding of space and time to hide, making it difficult for other 10th and 11th rank powerhouses to discover him. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan's figure sat in the deeper spatial layers. Awe-inspiring vital energy circulated, and within 100 miles around him, a profound yellow-colored force field faintly spread. One of the 3 great defensive secret techniques of the profound yellow lineage, the Xianxia physique. No matter the heritage, the most crucial aspect was surely survival. Only by living could there be hope. This was the case with the profound yellow lineage, where survival was ensured with the Xianhuang physique and spatial temporal steps. The third layer. Lin Yuan opened his eyes and sighed softly. The Xianhuang physique is divided into 4 layers, with the 4th layer being the ultimate realm. A 12th rank life with a perfected Xianhuang physique was said to be unbreakable and immortal, easily able to withstand the devastations at the end of a cosmic epoch. However, as he continued to practice, Lin Yuan became increasingly aware of the difficulty of this secret technique. The resources needed for cultivating the Xianhuang physique were indeed vast. Initially, Lin Yuan thought that with the abundant Xianhuang crystals inside the Xianhuang secret realm, along with the corpses and treasures of nearly 10,000 ninth-rank alien races, he could cultivate this technique to a deeper level. This was also what Lin Yuan deduced from the many pieces of information about this secret technique. But the result was that Lin Yuan had overlooked a crucial factor. That being, he was not like a normal 10th rank life. If it were an ordinary 10th rank life, with the vast resources of the secret realm, their cultivation needs could naturally be met. But Lin Yuan? Before transcending to the 10th rank, his physical body was already hundreds of times stronger than others of his tier. After entering the 10th tier, having been infused with the Chaos Void origin, the disparity had reached a scale magnified by tens of thousands. And this was just the physical body. There were also the worlds inside his soul bodies. A normal powerhouse needs one set of resources to elevate their Xianhuang physique to the next layer. Lin Yuan needed hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of sets of resources. Though ultimately satisfied with his enhancements, the resources required were indeed numerous. And this was just Lin Yuan's original true body. His 2 primordial spirits were still on the sidelines. Since stepping into the 10th rank and discovering a surge in his resource needs, Lin Yuan had decisively halted his 2 primordial spirits from cultivating the Xianhuang physique secret technique. This kind of defensive secret technique should definitely be prioritized by the original body. As for the 2 primordial spirits, they had to be slightly wronged for the time being. On battlefield A098, Lin Yuan still sat beneath the eternal spatial rift, cultivating. In recent months, at least 100 more 11th rank powerhouses have appeared on the battlefield. Lin Yuan glanced at the distant region in between his cultivation sessions. The total visible 11th rank evolvers of the entire human civilization also didn't exceed 1,000. Now, just on one battlefield, there were over 100 11th rank, and that didn't include those 11th rank powerhouses who were originally stationed there. And those who secretly came over, evading Lin Yuan's perception. Tuoba Ancient God. Lin Yuan's eyes were deep, having heard about Tuoba Ancient God on this battlefield. Tuoba Ancient God was invited by the insect race to bolster their forces. Tuoba Ancient God was also the ancient god corresponding to the evolution path initially cultivated by Feng Qing. Saw the novel, F.I.R. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Because of an issue involving Feng Qing, Lin Yuan had quite a grievance with this ancient god. Since Lin Yuan became an evolver, Tuoba Ancient God was the first life form bold enough to openly extort him. According to the information Lin Yuan obtained about Tuoba Ancient God, this ancient god was a powerful 11th rank life of the 5th tier, ranking among the top ancient gods, audacious enough to disregard Xizhong Ancient God and even aiming to reach the ultimate within 1,000,000 years. Xizhong Ancient God once stated that Tuoba Ancient God only had a lifespan of 100 million years. But an 11th rank life's 100 million years lifespan isn't measured by the flow of time in the main world. With Tuoba Ancient God's manipulation of the flow of time, by the time of the main world's 100 billion years, he might still be alive. However, the fact that Tuoba Ancient God had the ambition to strive for the ultimate indicated that he might not continue to delay his time and barely cling to life. Indeed, many ancient special beings born at the creation of the universe had already lived long enough. Slowing down their own time flow rate to achieve an alternative form of immortality held little significance. Even if they survived era after era, could that make them achieve the ultimate? Yet, every 11th rank lives viewpoint differed. Some 11th rank lives believed that in the distant future, there lay the hope of becoming the ultimate, while others thought that since they must die sooner or later, they might as well strive for the ultimate as soon as possible. Of course, those with the latter belief tend to be solitary and special beings. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 709 Dimensionality Reduction. Please subscribe. _3 If there are ties of kinship, it is definitely best to live as long as possible to protect the clan for a longer time. Tuoba, ancient god with no relatives or friends, is a unique being in the cosmic starry skies, which is why he dared to make such a bold request to Lin Yuan. My current strength is far from being a match for Tuoba, ancient god, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Tuoba, ancient god was of the 5th tier of 11th rank, while Lin Yuan was currently only comparable to a 2nd tier 11th rank, with no comparability in strength between them. The 6 tiers of 11th rank life each have a massive gap in strength. Give me another 1,000 years. Lin Yuan bore a killing intent towards Tuoba, ancient god, but also knew it was not realistic. Just based on his rate of growth, he estimated it would be possible in another 1 or 2,000 years. Of course, that was just a possibility. With the strength of Tuoba, ancient god, Lin Yuan estimated he would have to become a supreme being to be assured of killing the other. Xiayu Evolution Tower. Lin Yuan Tai-in Primordial Spirit personally rushed over. At the same time, other Tier 10 Grade A evolvers arrived. You have only 100 years. In 100 years, try to comprehend this segment of Aurora as much as possible. The figure of Xia Qin Supreme Being appeared, and without any unnecessary words, a segment of colorful, splendid Aurora floated in the air. According to the agreement with the other 8 supreme beings of human civilization, this Aurora would stay in each evolution tower for 100 years. After 900 years, it would be the main ingredient in forging an ultimate weapon. Search *the novel fire, any *t website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. At that time, the potency of the Aurora would be condensed, and it would be difficult to comprehend any further. Is this the cosmic Aurora that easily shattered a large alien battlefield? Lin Yuan's gaze fell on the Aurora for the first time. Your perception defies the heavens. Observing the unknown Aurora, your understanding of the rules of light deepens. Your perception defies the heavens. Observing the unknown Aurora, your understanding of the rules of cause and effect deepens. Your perception defies the heavens. Observing the unknown Aurora, your understanding of space rules deepens. It was only a single breath. Lin Yuan had already comprehended dozens of rule fluctuations from this segment of Aurora, among which the rules of light and cause and effect were the most intense. Rules of light. Lin Yuan vaguely felt that the rules of light within the Aurora were not normal. They must have fused with other rules, otherwise, they could not be this powerful. And the rules of cause and effect, these rules are easy to start with but extremely hard to master in depth, and Lin Yuan's understanding of them was not very high due to his lack of full concentration. The remaining 6 pillar-level rules on the Black Planet, 2 of which involve the rules of cause and effect. Perhaps with the help of this Aurora, I could meet the requirements in the understanding of the rules of cause and effect? Lin Yuan thought to himself. Though the rules of cause and effect are not pillar-level fusion rules, they are nonetheless more important than most, and their comprehension difficulty exceeds most pillar rules. And pillar-level fusion rules that encompass the rules of cause and effect are extremely peculiar and unpredictable. Battlefield A098 of different races. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Above his head was an eternal spatial rift spanning 1,000 miles, emitting slow spatial fluctuations. It was at this moment Lin Yuan's expression shifted subtly. This feeling? Lin Yuan suddenly looked up, gazing at the eternal spatial rift above his head. In a vague sense, he felt that an unknown change had occurred within this eternal spatial rift. The next moment, under Lin Yuan's watchful eyes, a piece of white paper squeezed in. The white paper had only length and width, with no concept of thickness, giving a very contradictory impression. White paper. Lin Yuan stared intently at the piece of white paper, which made his scalp tingle somewhat. Rustle, rustle. After the white paper squeezed into the universe, it instantly penetrated the entire large alien battlefield. However, the large alien battlefield did not shatter. Instead, some sort of dimensional collapse occurred, losing the concept of spatial volume. In just an instant, the large alien battlefield, nearly 1,000 light-years across, was compressed into a painting scroll, then assimilated into the white paper. Buzz! The white paper continued to fly towards the cosmic starry sky. Wherever it went, all matter was compressed, including space itself, forming painting scrolls that fused into the white paper. What is this? A towering figure staggered back a few steps, staring incredulously at the rapidly receding white paper. He was a 12th rank ultimate. A moment of inattention had also sucked him into the white paper, but as a being who stepped out of the river of time, the white paper's dimensional reduction ability couldn't completely suppress him, and that was how he escaped. Only he had escaped, but countless lives on battlefield A098, including those 11th rank powerhouses, had all fallen into the white paper. Even space itself swiftly collapsed as if a part of it was cut out of thin air. The Taiyuan relic. This direction is towards the Taiyuan relic. One supreme being after another appeared, all staring solemnly at the departing white paper. What exactly has happened to the Taiyuan relic? The single-horned supreme being had a grave expression. 50 or 60 years ago, the cosmic aurora also came from the Taiyuan relic. Now, this eerie white paper had likewise come from the direction of the Taiyuan relic. This made them speculate whether the Taiyuan relic had undergone some unpredictable change. Gentlemen, let's not worry about the Taiyuan relic for now. If we let that white paper continue to fly, 1/10,000th of our universe will be completely dimensionally reduced. One supreme being spoke up. Although the white paper's dimensional reduction effect was ineffective against supreme beings, the numerous lives within their races were all within the scope of the reduction. Let's join forces. Together, we can hold that white paper in place. Right, we can't let it keep flying around recklessly. The supreme beings quickly decided and began to take action, slowly restricting the white paper's movement with their space-time might. Soon, the flight speed of the white paper slowed down. Finally, it stopped beneath a certain expanse of the starry sky. The white paper slowly unfolded, revealing a painting scroll exuding a mysterious aura before the supreme beings. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 710 Two-Dimensional World. Subscribe please. In a daze, Lin Yuan finally came to his senses. Where is this? Lin Yuan looked around, realizing he was lying in a narrow room. Me. Lin Yuan rubbed his brow. Just before losing consciousness, he had seen a white paper. A white paper that had squeezed in from the eternal spatial rift. Then afterwards, Lin Yuan felt a violent change in spacetime, as if some pivot was collapsing. What exactly happened? Lin Yuan re-established contact with his true body, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Not right. Lin Yuan's expression suddenly turned grave. Where are the spatial layers? And the fluctuations of many rules? Lin Yuan couldn't believe that, at this moment, he couldn't feel any rule fluctuations at all. And the spatial layers? He couldn't detect even a trace of the space rules, nor any spatial layers. It was as if this world had only a very thin layer of space. But how could that be possible? If there were no spatial layers, it meant the world was incomplete. How could an incomplete world possibly accommodate the arrival of a 10th rank life like him? Even if it could barely contain him with just a thought, he should be able to tear everything apart. Yet now, Lin Yuan felt no such ability. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan's frown deepened. The fluctuations from many spaces are still there. The spatial layers are still there. Lin Yuan doubted internally. Why couldn't he feel any fluctuations of the space rules where the Taiyang divine spirit was? Search * the novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. You must know, time and space are the basic pillars of the spatial world. Other rule fluctuations can be blocked or suppressed. But time and space cannot be suppressed. Just like in the space inside the black planet, one can only feel the corresponding fusion rules fluctuations, but aside from that, faint space fluctuations are still perceivable. Supreme Being. Lin Yuan immediately contacted the Supreme Being. You and all the lives on the battlefield have fallen into that white paper, Xianxia Supreme Being said directly upon seeing Lin Yuan. Everything near that white paper will downgrade itself, only 12th rank life can resist it, Xianxia Supreme Being said. But don't worry, I am trying to see if I can fish you out. Thank you, Supreme Being. Lin Yuan roughly figured out the situation of the Taiyang divine spirit. Inside the white paper scroll, Lin Yuan's thoughts spread. I am now inside that white paper, forcibly downgraded. No wonder I can't feel any rule fluctuations, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even my inner world has been directly compressed into a plane. Lin Yuan examined himself, noticing that his inner world had completely vanished, leaving behind only a slight trace. My physical body, my power, my soul, all have been forcibly reduced to a very low level, Lin Yuan sensed carefully, his expression grave. However, the door to the myriad realms is still there. Lin Yuan's consciousness sank into his mind, looking at the still majestic and imposing door to the myriad realms. Even in this two-dimensional world inside the white paper, the door to the myriad realms still exuded a supreme presence, unaffected by anything. A two-dimensional world? This was the first time Lin Yuan had encountered such a world. In the past, through the 9 transits via the door to the myriad realms, although all were to other dimensions, the levels of the dimensions he transited to were all on the same level as the main universe. As for lower dimensions, Lin Yuan had not encountered them. That white paper can automatically cause everything nearby to downgrade to two-dimensional. The chaos void is indeed wonderful, possessing even such strange objects. Lin Yuan was not panicked, instead awaiting the Supreme Being's response. In fact, if he hadn't invested a large amount of resources on this Taiyang divine spirit, Lin Yuan would now be inclined to directly annihilate this avatar and leave. But being fished out by the Supreme Being would naturally be a better outcome. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan waited for a moment. He met with Xiaqian's Supreme Being again. Compared to the initial calmness, Xiaqian's Supreme Being now appeared solemn. Things are a bit troublesome. Xiaqian's Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan and spoke gravely. That white paper is of too high level, we can't refine or interfere with it. The implication was that they couldn't fish Lin Yuan out. Then I will just abandon that avatar, Lin Yuan immediately spoke. Although he was quite curious about the two-dimensional world inside that white paper, without knowing specific details, Lin Yuan naturally didn't dare to stay there for long. What if he encountered the causal curse-killing force of the cosmic aurora? Wouldn't that be even more troublesome? Although the cosmic aurora could only curse-kill life below 10th rank, and Lin Yuan had left a lot of essence blood in the Xianhuang secret realm, by leveraging the Xianhuang secret realm's ability to isolate causality, even a Supreme Being's curse kill could be easily resisted. But who could clarify the matters of the chaos void? So it was better to leave sooner rather than later. A wise man does not stand under a dangerous wall. Don't do that, Xiaqian's Supreme Being shook his head. Different species have already tried that, exploding avatars that fell into the white paper. But the result? The Supreme Being paused for a while and continued. We found those exploded avatars can never be restored. Eternally irrecoverable? Lin Yuan was startled. The essence of creating avatars involved severing a part of one's spirit will and then using it as a core to generate a second physical body. For any being, the spirit will is the most crucial part, as only those from the same spirit will can achieve shared memories and consciousness. To maintain the connection between the severed spirit will and the original self, the total amount of spirit will is fixed. For instance, a 10th rank being has a spirit will of 10 points. If they sever 2 points of spirit will to create an avatar, then henceforth, the original Bodhi spirit will would be 8 points. The avatar's spirit will would be 2 points. If another 2 points of spirit will are severed to form a second avatar, then the original self spirit will would be reduced to 6 points. Each of the 2 avatars would have 2 points of spirit will. This is why most powerful beings have only one avatar. The more avatars are formed, the weaker the original self-spirit will becomes. And the weakening of one's spirit will affect everything, from understanding the rules to the functioning of one's own combat power, and so on. The decline is quite severe. If an avatar perishes outside, then the original self-spirit will is restored. And then one could continue to sever the spirit will to create avatars. But did Xiaqian's Supreme Being mean that the avatar self-destructed within the two-dimensional world inside white paper would be lost forever? Does that mean the spirit will carried by the avatar can't be recovered and the original self permanently loses part of its spirit will? In a flash, Lin Yuan immediately realized what this meant. Devastating. The cost is simply too devastating. Permanently losing a portion of one's spirit will could seriously demote a powerful being's potential and strength by several levels. Although creating an avatar also requires severing a part of the spirit will, as long as the avatar is reclaimed, this portion of the spirit will can be restored. But now, eternally irrecoverable? Lin Yuan thought of himself. If the Taiyang divine spirit dies in the two-dimensional world inside white paper, does that mean he can't recondense this divine spirit either? And the Tai-Yin primordial spirit and Taiyang primordial spirit are Lin Yuan's foundation in martial Tao, supporting his grand martial Tao. Permanently losing the Taiyang primordial spirit would severely affect Lin Yuan's martial arts evolution system. With only the Tai-Yin primordial spirit, the martial Tao would become imbalanced between Yin and Yang, and could potentially collapse. Door to the Myriad Realms. In the two-dimensional world inside white paper, Lin Yuan's consciousness immediately plunged into his mind, looking toward that majestic door to the Myriad Realms. If his spirit will enters the door to the Myriad Realms and arrives in the world of another dimension, waiting for the Taiyang primordial spirit to die in the two-dimensional world so that this spirit can return to his true self, then could it avoid the permanent loss effect of the Taiyang primordial spirit? Lin Yuan wasn't sure. This method could only be used as a last resort. The best choice, naturally, is to escape from this two-dimensional world, but how to escape? Lin Yuan's thoughts fluctuated. The supreme beings of human civilization know nothing about that white paper. The only certainty is that it's associated with the Taiyuan relic. Right. Ask them. Lin Yuan's thoughts slightly moved. Xianxua's secret realm. Lin Yuan's consciousness incarnation descended there. Master. A six-armed silhouette bowed slightly to Lin Yuan, respectfully saying, "Do you know about this white paper?" Lin Yuan didn't waste words, simply manifesting the appearance of the white paper. The six-armed silhouette was the spirit of the Xianxua's secret realm, created by Xianxua, and definitely knew much more than the supreme beings of human civilization. After all, Xianxua was a powerful being renowned even in the chaos void. This white paper contains a two-dimensional world. Nearby materials will be forcefully reduced in dimension and plunge into the white paper. Lin Yuan tried to convey everything he had learned. Two-dimensional world? White paper. The six-armed silhouette was momentarily taken aback. Is Master talking about low-dimensional space? The six-armed silhouette said immediately. Low-dimensional space. Lin Yuan's spirits lifted. Please explain in detail. Yes. The six-armed silhouette didn't dare to hesitate, perceiving the importance of this to Lin Yuan. Low-dimensional space, according to the few records obtained by His Majesty from a perilous place, the six-armed silhouette hurriedly said, low-dimensional space is an artifact created by beings close to perfect time beings to explore other dimensional spaces. However, later, some powerful beings found out that low-dimensional space allows two lives of different strengths to start from the same beginning. A sliver of spirit will in the form of an avatar descends into the low-dimensional space, needing to start from scratch. Discarding everything, starting fresh, without the influence of lineage, without the influence of secret techniques, without the influence of understanding the rules. Thus, the greatest use of low-dimensional space is to test aptitude. At the same starting point, under the same environment, within a fixed time, whoever's strength improves the fastest, indicates who has the strongest aptitude. Eventually, low-dimensional space became a sort of entertainment. Life forms of different levels often divide a sliver of spirit will to engage in a battle within the low-dimensional space. As the six-armed silhouette spoke, it paused and seemed to be recalling something. Of course, there are two types of low-dimensional space. One is a purely recreational low-dimensional space, with no restrictions. The other is a gamble-style low-dimensional space. This type of low-dimensional space has many rules, and leaving midway carries a severe penalty. Of course, if you defeat your opponent in the end, you would receive a substantial reward. The six-armed silhouette spoke with a hint of nostalgia. His Majesty once said, the ultimate winner in low-dimensional space would win everything. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 711 The Theory of Heaven's Gate. Please subscribe. Low-dimensional space? Lin Yuan looked solemn. According to the six-armed silhouette's description of low-dimensional space, Lin Yuan was almost certain that the white paper was the low-dimensional space. Master, did you encounter the low-dimensional space? The six-armed silhouette asked curiously. Low-dimensional space involves exploring even lower dimensions. Even Xianxua had not obtained a complete low-dimensional space in the past. The chaos void had gone through several cosmic eras, and too many strange treasures had vanished into the past. Such treasures as low-dimensional spaces might only be found deep within those large perilous places. It was only possible, as Xianxua had explored many such large perilous places during his time, obtaining only some intelligence regarding low-dimensional space. As for the real low-dimensional space, he had no chance to see it. Not only did I see it, one of my avatars even fell into it, Lin Yuan roughly explained the course of events. He could fully trust the six-armed silhouette and had no need to conceal anything. Master, do you mean that along with you, a large number of other powerhouses fell into the low-dimensional space as well? The six-armed silhouette widened its eyes. Yes, Lin Yuan nodded. The number should be more than 100 million. Battlefield A098, a large alien battlefield, usually hosted a large number of powerhouses during regular periods. Especially since before the arrival of the white paper, various powers were about to trigger intense battlefield activity, continuously mobilizing powerhouses from all quarters. Lin Yuan roughly estimated that the number of 11th rank powerhouses in this battlefield would exceed 300. There would be up to 200,000 at 10th rank. The remaining powerhouses of 8th and 9th ranks combined approached 100 million. This was only the actual number of strong beings alone and did not include entities like puppets and so on. For example, the strong beings of the insect race specialized in nurturing a large number of insect race warriors. These warriors lacked independent thought and were not counted as part of the powerhouse numbers. 100 million? How can a mere simplistic space of a low-dimensional world possibly accommodate 100 million lives instantly? The six-armed silhouette was somewhat flabbergasted. According to the intelligence about low-dimensional space that Xianxia got, a normal low-dimensional space, whether for entertainment or gambling purposes, could accommodate only very limited numbers of lives at the same time. At most, it would not exceed 100. As for 100 million, the heritage and essence of the low-dimensional space were far inferior to the normal chaos void. It simply couldn't support that many lives. Unless Xianxia. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The six-armed silhouette's expression turned grave. Master, I suspect that the low-dimensional space you fell into is one of the earliest generations of low-dimensional spaces, created by beings close to perfect time beings who paid a tremendous price and exhausted infinite resources. The low-dimensional space originated from beings close to perfect time beings exploring dimensions. The low-dimensional spaces that spread later were mere imitations of those original spaces. The earliest generation of low-dimensional spaces? Lin Yuan appeared slightly puzzled. Yes, the six-armed silhouette spoke, regarding the earliest generation of low-dimensional spaces. His Majesty isn't highly informed, only knowing that they contain opportunities bestowed by beings close to perfect time beings. The life that falls into such a low-dimensional space, as long as it meets the conditions, could receive the bestowed gift, the six-armed silhouette spoke. How to leave? Lin Yuan asked the crucial question. The method to leave shouldn't be hard to discover. You just need to explore the low-dimensional space more and you will probably find out, the six-armed silhouette hesitantly said. Inside the white paper, Lin Yuan still sat cross-legged in that narrow room. Through exchanges with Xiaqin Supreme Being, Shenhuang Spirit of the Mysterious Realm, and Stone Statue Shinji, he had the most basic judgment of his current situation. First, if the Taiyang Divine Spirit were to die within this two-dimensional world, then he would completely lose this primordial spirit. Second, there should be a way to leave, but managing to leave smoothly was not an easy task. Leaving this low-dimensional space midway would incur severe penalties, and it was highly likely that one would need to defeat other life forms that had fallen in before being able to leave. Third, as long as certain conditions were met, one could receive the reward from the creator of this two-dimensional world, which is the being close to a perfect time being. Fourth, the flow of time here was different from the main universe, with a rough ratio reaching 100 to 1 in simple terms. As 1 year passed in the main universe, 100 years would go by in this two-dimensional world. Lin Yuan's focus was currently on leaving this two-dimensional world. Whether or not he could retrieve a reward was not within his considerations. Situated in this two-dimensional world, the means of enhancing strength from the main universe are rendered 99% obsolete, Lin Yuan thought to himself. In the main universe of the 10,000 universe races, whether it's human civilization or other groups, the enhancement of strength is geared towards the understanding of many rules. Using the power of rules, one could easily unleash strength far beyond one's limits. And once the understanding of rules reached a certain level, one could create an inner world, leveraging the power of the inner world to achieve strength enhancement by hundreds or thousands times. But here, rules? There are no rules. Inner world? Lacking the support of spatial dimensions, there is no semblance of creating an inner world. Lin Yuan's inner world was compressed into a piece of paper. Therefore, in this world, there are only two ways to enhance strength. One is the physical body. The The stronger the body, the stronger the strength. This is the most primitive comparison of strength. Secondly, there are skills. Under absolute power, skills are of little use. But if the strength is comparable, or the difference is not significant, the one with superior skills will have a more powerful composite strength. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 712 The Theory of Heaven's Gate. Please subscribe. _2 Lin Yuan was unaware of what conditions were needed to leave this two-dimensional world. But improving his strength was definitely the right approach. The martial path evolutionary path is inherently good at strengthening the body. It's just that in this two-dimensional world, the way to enhance the body is starkly different from that in the main universe. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Ever since the perfect time being created low-dimensional space, such spaces have been widely spread for use in leisure or gambling competitions to test understanding. Since the lives in low-dimensional space find most of their usual cultivation methods useless, if they wish to grow stronger, they must start from scratch and create new cultivation methods suited for this low-dimensional space. I have against heaven's understanding, so creating a cultivation method that suits this world isn't difficult, Lin Yuan thought to himself. However, he didn't underestimate the thoughts of other powerhouses who fell into this two-dimensional world. Especially those 11th rank lives, on the same level, Lin Yuan believed that no one could match his understanding. But when compared with higher-level lives, under the perspective of looking down from a great height, the gap was bound to shrink. Moreover, having lost the support of the powers of rules, the upper limit of this two-dimensional world was inevitably not high. Take it slow. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts. Since he had fallen into this two-dimensional world, he could only take one step at a time. Let's see what's outside the room. Lin Yuan steadied his mind and stood up to push open the wooden door. Outside the door was lush greenery, and at a distance there was a stream. A dark-skinned middle-aged man was fishing by the stream. Waka-ka. Upon seeing Lin Yuan walk out of the room, the middle-aged man immediately came over with big strides, speaking in a language Lin Yuan couldn't understand. A completely new language? Lin Yuan listened carefully and observed the middle-aged man's facial expressions with each intonation he uttered. After a brief pause, he tried speaking a few sentences tentatively, and continued to watch the middle-aged man's reaction. After 3 or 4 minutes, he was more or less able to communicate normally with the middle-aged man. Although everything about Lin Yuan was suppressed in this two-dimensional world, his original self located in the main universe could share memories. With the thinking speed of a 10th rank life, and combined with against heaven's understanding, learning the language of this world was child's play for Lin Yuan. In fact, if he wasn't in this two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan could completely read the middle-aged man's every memory silently. A method far more efficient than the current way of language interaction. Are you saying that 2 days ago, countless meteors fell from the sky, and as it happened, one meteor landed nearby, which you went to find, and then you found me? After conversing with the middle-aged man for a while, Lin Yuan appeared to be in deep thought. The so-called meteors should be the same as him, the powerhouses drawn into the battlefield within white paper. Saw the novel, F.I.R. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. After a while, by continuously guiding the middle-aged man, Lin Yuan roughly obtained basic information about this two-dimensional world. From the middle-aged man's perspective, he lived on a vast and boundless continent. This continent's lifestyle was very primitive, with most people gathering in the form of tribes. Occasionally there were some cities, and cities were indeed very powerful forces, supposedly with great witch kings in charge. Witch kings were the strongest entities the middle-aged man knew of, able to easily move mountains and split rocks, infinitely terrifying. My luck isn't too bad. Lin Yuan glanced at the middle-aged man and thought to himself. At least the middle-aged man didn't harbor any malicious intentions when he found him. Given the information Lin Yuan had just received from Xiaoqin's Supreme Being, many powerhouses had found themselves in dire straits after falling into this two-dimensional world. Some powerhouses were unfortunate enough to fall into hands of the cannibal tribe, where they were directly hung on a roasting spit. To know 9th rank, 10th rank and 11th rank powerhouses, the moment they fell into this world, all their powers and methods were dimensionally reduced and couldn't be used, rendering them no different from ordinary people in this two-dimensional world. The only thing unchanged was their memory. But relying on memory alone was of no use, especially when encountering those cannibal tribes. With no common language, their fate was predictable. Some of the powerhouses who ended up in the hands of the cannibal tribes, unable to bear the humiliation, chose to self-destruct or eradicate the consciousness that had fallen into this two-dimensional world. Then, there came the discovery that death in the avatar of this two-dimensional world would result in a fundamental loss. Beyond ending up in the cannibal tribes, some fell directly into nests of ferocious beasts and were promptly devoured. Still, some landed in prosperous cities, astonishing some native powerhouses, who then captured them to study slowly. In any case, according to what Lin Yuan knew, a significant portion of the powerhouses who fell into this two-dimensional world were not in good situations. Of course, there were also those who were in good situations, such as being treated as sacred beings descended from heaven by some tribal forces, or being valued by native powerhouses, and so forth. Lin Yuan's situation was not particularly good, but it was not bad either. At least he was quite satisfied. Pado, where is the nearest gathering place? Lin Yuan looked at the honest middle-aged man before him. From their conversation, Lin Yuan knew that the man's name was Pado, and he lived by fishing and hunting. After finding Lin Yuan, he had brought him back home. That direction, Pado pointed in a certain direction. But it's better to wait for others if you want to go there. Otherwise, encountering a ferocious beast on the way could be deadly. There were other natives living around Pado's dwelling, totaling about dozens of people. On this continent, all sorts of ferocious beasts were rampant, and humans in this world could only survive by sticking together. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Wisdom Diary YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.